The day was May 6th. I began my stream, not knowing for how long I'd be live, fired up Just Cause 2, and started the game on this loud helicopter. We're on! I had a quick stretch, and the gaming began. Our first introduction to the game took place in this wonderful mountain base, where we used the grappling hook, parachute, and gun. We used these tools to destroy our first red objects and pick up our first boxes. Red objects and boxes happen to be the foundation of Just Cause 2's universe, and in total there are 3,000 boxes and 3,700 red objects. Oh, and also 4 new designs for my brand new merch on Martincitopants.shop. That's right, boyos, you've wanted, you've waited, and now it's here. New drip available on Martincitopants.shop. We have 4 brand new incredible designs made to get you more bitches. We've got grill, funny water vehicle, frog, but small and embroidered, and my personal least favorite, this garment will get you bitches. We've got stickers. Gentlemen, we need to do some guerrilla marketing. Buy these stickers and put them in the wackiest, weirdest, and most obtuse places you can possibly think of. You get 20 stickers, so go nuts. Do not put them anywhere illegal. Remember, I'm watching. Submit your wacky, weird, obtuse place to the Discord and we'll collectively rank them. The highest ranked sticker will receive nothing. Gentlemen, you want to buy these products. Put your ear close enough to the boat one and you can hear how funny it is. Okay, real talk for a minute. I genuinely really like this merch. I wear it around quite a lot, and even though it is my own merch, I don't feel like an idiot walking around in it. The guys in the back end are Represent.com who are really good. They do PewDiePie's merch, they do Dan TDM, they even do regular celebrities like Arnold Schwarzenegger and Mark Ruffalo. You know, for all my Mark Ruffaloids out there. What I'm saying is that your money is safe with these fellas, and you will not be disappointed by the quality. Buy it if you want, don't buy it if you don't want, and on with the video. To complete the game, I would need to collect every single item and destroy every single object. But this was only the beginning, and things were off to a pretty good start. My spirits were high, and I was feeling ready to attack this 25-hour speed. What? I was feeling ready to attack this 25-hour speedrun. I was feeling ready to attack this 25-hour speedrun. I'd bought 6 meals, practiced for a few days beforehand, and created a very rough plan for what I was going to do. First up were the initial story missions, so we didn't get flattened for a third time, finished the first mission, and immediately began the second, where we had to rescue Carl Blaine. A man of dubious quality who had recently lost it all on some weird monkey pictures. We got him to safety, that is, after he was minigunned to death, and finished the second mission, where the game suddenly opened up and we were free to do whatever we wanted. Naturally, what we did next was introduce ourselves to the 3 criminal factions on Panau. We did this with violence, and took over a military stronghold for each of them, starting with the Euler Boys, a collection of Ted Kaczynski enjoyers who wish for nothing more than to return Panau to Monkey. Next were the Reapers, a bunch of communists led by the character with the second greatest voice actor in the history of gaming.
My name is Bolo Santosi.
And finally, the Roaches, your run-of-the-mill drug cartel led by Razak Razman, a man that says some of the most suspicious sentences I've ever heard in my life.
I am happier than a man after colonic irrigation.
As we passed the 1 hour mark, the donation text-to-speech had started to become quite annoying. So I skipped a few. And for my sins... Oh, the game crashed. A first crash only an hour into the run didn't bode well, but I knew Just Cause 2 wasn't particularly stable, so I didn't think much of it. But of course, 12 minutes later, it happened again. Hour 1 was mainly composed of doing strongholds, listening to random shit from the text-to-speech man, and collecting black boxes, of which there are 100, and every single one of them is at the bottom of the fucking ocean in the middle of nowhere. Why? Anyway, black boxes aside, things were going well. Except for this mission, where we needed to steal this tank and drive it to Bolo. I thought I could save some time by driving through this forest, but I couldn't. Uh-oh. No, don't tell me. 2 hours were down, and things were going according to plan. I had even managed to find one of the funniest vehicles in existence. Oh my god. And chat definitely thought so too. You know what else chat thought was pretty cool? This little guy. And you know what else chat thought was pretty cool? The next mission, Mile High Club. This mission takes place in the Mile High Club, which is a club suspended about 800 meters from the ground by these 2 big balloons. This mission was for the Roaches, and of course, Mr. Razman, being the incredibly horny man he is, had some interesting things to say about this fine establishment.
Pardon me for being a hopeless romantic, but a better whole house I never did see.
Once we arrived, we got to work doing some of my favorite activities, like pressing some buttons on laptops, watching these bars go up, shooting strippers, and listening to audaciously funky beats. For the next hour, we shot some civilians into space, drifted a limo down a mountain, did this stronghold, dance break, oh yeah, had the game crash, no, and began the next story mission. This mission would introduce us to the next great character of Just Cause 2, Tom Sheldon. A man who loves a big fat greasy pig roast, eat the pig, greasy tasty pig, almost as much as he loves oil. The timer had crossed the 5-hour mark, and things were still going pretty well. Next on the agenda was the mission Driving Miss Stacy, in which we had to drive Miss Stacy, a character that Bolo clearly does not like one bit.
Pick up the whore, Miss Stacy.
We picked up Miss Stacy, then proceeded to murder her boyfriend and drop her off.
Thanks for the ride, honey. I'll be thinking of you.
Sometime later, we started the mission pulling a Jeremy. What it means to pull a Jeremy, I can only guess. It involved this government informant who we had to drive to safety. Naturally, we had a little difficulty with this, and so did he, causing him to have a deep moment of inner contemplation. Something that caused me to have a deep moment of inner contemplation was the next mission. Our objective was to steal this jet and fly it over to this mountain base. Pretty simple. So I stole the jet, took off, and started flying to the base when this happened. Oh, and there it goes again. Not to worry, the game had been pretty unstable, so I tried again. Oh no. Clearly, something was wrong. So I tried again. Fuck. The pain was building. Each time it had crashed, I had flown the plane to the right, so this time, I'd try flying it to the left. The pain was building. I validated the game files, tried the mission again, and instead of going left or right, flew up. It was looking pretty good. I crossed my fingers and mentally prepared myself for the game to crash once again. But it never came, and we flew over the base and finished the mission. That was it. Sit! Now for something equally painful. Not because the game was crashing, but because I'm shit. Pirate Broadcast. This mission takes place on this enormous broadcast building. Now initially I was under the impression that this mission was good. Oh, Pirate Broadcast, this mission slaps. You climb up the building, align some dishes, blow some stuff up, and jump off. What I did not account for, however, were these. Oh no, the sentry! Sentry guns, which can kill you in about 2 microseconds. Not to worry. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice. No! Okay, well, fool me thrice. It's this one! It's this one! Fool me 4 times. Shame on me. We finally didn't die to the little bastard sentry guns and finished the mission. Okay. Oosh. So of course, on to the next one. This time, a story mission. The start of it was quite far away from the action, so naturally I dropped a fast plane in to fly there quickly. This mission featured another set of wacky characters. Guess what, gentlemen? It's ninja time. I figured now was as good a time as any to finish off the story, so I went to the start of the next mission, but got distracted with this. Oh yes. This mission was the Three Kings, where you just murder some dudes from overseas. Nice. And finally, the last mission, where you go into the president of Panau's mouth
and cut him down.
Okay. Now
then shoot this helicopter, then leave the mouth. Look, I'll be honest, alright? I have no idea what's going on. I skipped all the cutscenes, so I'm just as lost as you, alright? Once we were out of the mouth, Sheldon tasked me with finding oil.
We got the coordinates for the oil field.
The oil field. But I didn't find oil. I found this giant submarine, which had President Panay inside. So we jumped in and shot him in the head about 290 times.
you stink of excrement, you bitch!
And he was dead. Actually, no, he wasn't. He was just kind of slumped on this chair, and then I pressed enter, which skipped the cutscene, and then we were on a bunch of missiles. You know what? Fair enough. And this being Just Cause 2, at the peak of the action with the highest possible stakes, we have to hack some things by pressing some buttons and then press the Alt key, jump across, shoot. Yeah. We jumped across to the final missile, stuffed Panay into the hatch, and sent it into the oil field. And that was the end of the game. The game was done, but it was very, very far from complete. In fact, after you complete the story, you get given a percentage counter telling you how far through you really are. And it wasn't far. This pace gave us a projected finish of 20 hours and 37 minutes. A long way away, but also 5 whole hours faster than the current record. All we had to do was maintain the pace. Jumping Parole. A simple mission where we hijacked this truck with a friendly associate inside and escaped to safety. On the first attempt, the car was obliterated by an enemy helicopter. On the second attempt, we got a bit further, but I made the terrible decision to take a shortcut, which resulted in this. Okay, we're taking a shortcut. Don't stop. Do not stop. The car stopped. It ran him over! Attempt 3. This time, I would just drive down the mountain, following the road. But this switchback is really long and I can just drive down this way to skip it. We'll give it a go. Oh god, don't run him over again. Attempt 4. Too much hubris. For real, no funny business this time, and we made it back in about 5 minutes. Nearby was the highest point in the game, so we paid it a visit to get this skull and cross the 8-hour mark simultaneously. As you can see in the webcam, the sun was beginning to set. Once nighttime arrived, I knew the pain would increase drastically, and we still weren't even halfway done. Things had steadily been getting more and more painful, but we were still far from maximum pain, and even further from finishing. The only thing I could do now was keep going. And keep going, I did. Whoa! Away he goes! At 8.5 hours, we reached 40% completion, which is when I went to get some food. A protein shake, come, and some plums. I got more plums. In Just Cause 2, there are 4 gigantic cities, and each of them is filled to the brim with items and red objects. We began the cities by doing the races. Lots and lots of races. Ooh! This race gave us a tuk-tuk, which we would use to drive through some very narrow passages. Me, trying to be a big brain, decided that a bike would be better since it's both thinner and faster. But I was punished for my hubris. Oh! Whoa! What? This race even had us get into a fire truck and drive it at incredible speed on the footpath. Oh my god. And then this race gave us an APC to do the exact same thing. Nothing like some good old pedestrian obliteration. Hold on a second. You want me to go through these civilians? Okay, I'll do it. Hour 10. We had finally crossed double digits, and we're still doing races. Hour 11. The races were all done, and I'd moved on to the items. Now, helping me in this speedrun was this program called JC2 Map Viewer. Not only does it give you the exact position of every item in the game, but you can load up a save file, and every time the game autosaves, it'll update the map and remove the stuff you've already done. In practice, this meant I'd look at the map, find where I was, find where the next item was, go back in the game, use the minimap to find the item, and repeat. Now, normally this would just be tedious and annoying, but remember, I'd been playing Just Cause 2 for over 11 hours at this point, so tedious and annoying was more like painful and frustrating. 20 minutes later, the first city of 4 was done. Sit! And then the second. And while we were just finishing the third, we crossed over the 12-hour mark. Half a day in Just Cause 2, and we had only reached a little under 50%. This, of course, gave us a projected time of a little over 24 hours. We finished the last city and crossed 50% shortly after. Sit! The most difficult navigation was done, but generally speaking, things were going to get a lot worse. I pulled up Map Viewer to get a good visual of how much was left, and it didn't look good. Look at how much shit there is left. I've only done half of it. Oh my god. Did I really want to subject myself to this? I could just quit right now, and the majority of my audience wouldn't even know I'd started this speedrun. But no. Quitting was absolutely not something I wanted to do. So I put my head down and kept going. This just in. Greer. Three more hours had passed, and we had reached 60%. This gave us a projected time of 26 hours. At 16 hours deep, we had officially reached the pain zone. The sun had set over 8 hours ago, but wasn't going to rise again for at least another 5. And more importantly, I realized we weren't going to be done for at least another 10. I'm probably going to be here for another fucking 10 hours. God, that doesn't even bear thinking about. Jesus. It was around this point that my mood visibly began to shift. I was tired, I was feeling pretty done, the exit to Windows button was looking enticing, and my bed was looking exceptionally comfy. You could see by the way I was sitting, I was clearly not having a good time. Despite the pain, we were still making progress.
You look broken, my guy.
And at 16.5 hours, we paid a visit to the lake with a giant shark inside it. There it is. The shark. Very spooky. Then I decided I'd complete all the races. This game has 75 races, and they all suck. They're boring, disconnected, and don't give you much completion for the amount of time they take. The good thing about races, though, is that they're easy. All you have to do is go through the circles. This would be the start of my rapid deterioration, by going through circle, after circle, after circle, after circle. Are you fucking serious? Ah well, it had crashed literally dozens of times at this point, so I started it back up and tried the race again. And it crashed. Again. No. This, like the last time, was clearly not a coincidence. I tried validating the game files and restarted the mission. Let's try it again. Oh, fuck me. Oh, this is bad. This is really bad. I was at my wit's end. I couldn't just fly up high this time since I had to fly through the rings. Was this it? 17 plus hours of Just Cause 2 just to get perpetually stuck on this stupid fucking race. Surely not. I had to try something else. And lucky for me, I did have one last trick up my sleeve. I opened up the launch options and changed the frame rate limit down from 150 to 60. I figured since it's an old game, it might be more stable on a lower frame rate. If this didn't work, I was well and truly fucked. So, I tentatively gave it one last go.
You look dead inside.
Last one. Come on. Yes. Sit! We had successfully avoided another softlock, which boosted my mood temporarily, and then was immediately crushed when I remembered how much longer I had. This is not going to end anytime soon. So of course, back to the races. 15 minutes later, I started this really shit one in the snow. Normally cars in this game are a huge pain in the ass to drive, but put them on snow or ice and they become completely undrivable. After 3 minutes of trying my best to keep the car from spinning out, I drifted into these rocks and got stuck. No fucking way. Oh my god, are you fucking kidding me? Oh my god. Rico, clearly craving getting stuck again, then went ahead and stuffed his head into a wall. Oh no! From here, it got worse. I'd reached 65% at 18.5 hours. Doing some more extrapolation, we get a projected finish time in 10 more hours. The projected finish time had in fact been 10 more hours for the last 8 hours. So of course, we continued on the races. The next of which was the longest race in the game. 15 minutes of driving this car down this road, going through circles. Then this plane race. Then this Learjet race. But it turns out the Learjet's fucking laser on. 66.66% completion. A devilish 2/3 of the game had been completed. But did it feel like I'd done 2/3? No. Did it, in fact, feel like I'd done anything? No. My alarm went off, and it was time for food. Cuckoo. Once I came back to the stream, it was clear I wasn't doing so well. Man. It is currently 4:20 25 a.m. And I'd be okay with that if I was going to finish in like 2 hours, but I'm not. At this point, we had almost reached maximum pain. Alright. But of course, we pressed on. I stopped talking and just let the situation really sink in. The full absurdity of what was happening had finally hit me. I'm here, in my room, playing this dumb game I used to play when I was 12. It's 5 in the morning, I'm cold, tired, and there are 8,000 people watching me. My face is right there. They can all see me. Why? Why are they watching me? I sat there stirring on. I thought about my career, my life, and all the events that had led up to this dumb speedrun. I felt completely in over my head. I feel unwell. Just like straight up just sick. Why is it me here? Why not someone else? These thoughts stirred. Thinking, rethinking, overthinking, circles, items, cars, donations, explosions, the viewers, the money, the timer. At 20.5 hours, I'd finally done it, and reached maximum pain. I could barely stay awake, the sun was still nowhere to be seen, and as always, we still had another 10 hours to go. But then, on the horizon, the sun. Yeah, but no one cares about that. What they really care about is the funny. And you know what's even better than 69% completion? 69.69% completion, baby! Fuck! Shit! 5 minutes later, we began the very last race. A boat race. I had banned the funny boat word in chat a number of months ago, since that's all you idiots would ever say. So instead of spamming boat, the chat had to be a little more creative. Jesus! And once that was done, we hit our next milestone. 70% completion at 21 hours and 16 minutes. Which gave us a projected finish of not 10, but 9 hours in the future. Gentlemen, it was happening. The sun had risen, and the second wind had come. Live for a whole day. Fuck. Why do they call it an oven when you cold eat the food out hot when the... My fellow Americans, Fortnite dancing back at the White House. "30 hours of Just Cause 2. The end was in sight. Now, you may be thinking, Mart, we just skimmed over 9 hours of footage. Surely we've missed at least something interesting. Nope. At this stage of the game, it had become incredibly repetitive. Hours upon hours of bases, objects, items, bases, items, objects, objects, bases, items. The most interesting things that happened were the percentage milestones, this black box that's really deep underwater, this pipeline that had the code 43434343, and pressing the knock knock sound on my stream deck, spooking a bunch of viewers. We were currently at 93% completion. 7% more, and we'd be done. Relatively, not very much. But 7% still constituted another 2.5 hours. So of course, we kept going. And that was it. Almost every single item, object, every mission, every race, and all 369 locations out of 368. The very last thing we had to do was this mission, Stranded, which would take us to this island in the northwest. The timer read a little over 32.5 hours. a full 7 hours slower than the record. But I've been lying to you. This timer you see on the screen is not what we're using to record our final time. It's there purely for show. No, the actual timer is the in-game timer, which is paused every time the game crashed or I went for a break or pressed escape. This timer is the one that actually matters. We made quick work of the very last mission, picking up some collectibles on the way, and before we knew it, there it was. The very last item of Just Cause 2. Gentlemen, Just Cause 2, 100% in one sitting. Look at that. With a final time of 32 hours, 51 minutes, 58 seconds. So, did we beat 25 hours? Did we set a new, unbelievable world record? No. We got 27 hours and 18 minutes. We had not, in fact, broken the record. But, as far as I can tell, I'm the first person to ever complete Just Cause 2 in one sitting. And you know what? That's good enough for me. That was fucked. That was fucked. That's not good. You know what? I'm gonna go. Oh fuck. Oh shit. Oh fuck. Huh! Yeah, see you later, idiots. Hey guys. Jimmy. Where'd he go? He drove away in his space car? Wait. What? Wait. Can I at least have my phone? What? Oh, I mean, yeah, sure. Alright. Well, I'm just gonna watch some YouTube now. I guess you guys can leave. True that.
This is the Lockpicking Lawyer, and what I have for you today is lock made.
Wait a minute. Holy shit. It's my brand new plush line! That's right, boys, I've partnered up with Makeshift and made this little boy right here. Look at him, he wants to enter your house. That's right, your very own frog in a suit. Kick him, crush him, dap him up aggressively. Don't lose sight of him, he'll sneak into your walls and won't stop knocking. Put him above you, imposing, striking, dominant. This is a frog who thinks you are pathetic. Put him below you, sad, apathetic, and resigned to his fate. For real, this is the single highest quality plush I have ever seen in my life. The exterior is fleece, the suit is stitched on very well, the eyes are embroidered and hard, and oh my god! You can own one of these boys today by clicking the first link in the description or that horrible, smelly, slimy pinned comment. Do it fast. After 30 days, they will no longer be for sale. Gentlemen, I have one goal with this campaign. Sell more plushes than this goddamn stupid cat. Look at it. This fucking stupid thing. What is wrong with it? Okay, that's kinda cute. This dumbass cat has sold over 1,500 plushes, and we need to sell more. Click that link in the pinned comment and buy it. I assure you, you will not regret your decision. Yeah. Oh shit. Hey guys, fancy seeing you again. How you been? Sir, why'd you, run away? Anyway, we've set a course for Elu, which as you can see, is rapidly oh shit! And would you look at that? Back at the start of the last video, stranded on Elu. Kevin has gone ahead and destroyed pretty much every base I built with his giant armada. Ouagadougou, annihilated. Urk, dead. Obson Kerman, face down in a highly corrosive lake. Djibouti, it's seen better days, and most importantly, he's murdered all the Kerbals in the KSC and taken it over for himself. Gentlemen, the Bean Space program is in shambles. All thanks to this rat bastard. Today, we're not building rockets, we're building weapons. Instead of fuel and oxidizer, we have gunpowder and high explosives. Instead of a noble quest to push the boundaries of discovery and science, we're here to kill, destroy, and conquer. My sources tell me that Kevin is rebuilding the KSC and has taken its 96 billion funds to build up military bases on other planets. Some bases are large, and some are small. Today we're going to destroy his shit-ass bases, and then I will kill him. Personally. So, let us begin. Okay, so first off, we need a sitrep. Kevin has in fact noticed that his hangar is empty and is currently searching for us with several hundred drones. One of those drones happens to be near us. Another thing that happens to be near us is this, the last base we built. Kevin somehow forgot about Elu and didn't destroy it, so using this base we can build a craft with weapons. Its goal will be to destroy the search drone driving around on Elu's surface looking for us. But, to do that, we must first learn about weapons. War. Possibly the most ancient part of the human experience. Us apes have been killing each other for a very, very long time, and the first weapon used for this purpose was the humble rock. And then we invented this thing, and these, and some of those, and bam 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 bam, we invented chemical explosives, the topic of today's lecture. Now how does an explosive work? Well, it's all about releasing a huge amount of energy in the shortest possible time. If you've ever thrown a log of wood in a fire, you'd know that it burns way too slow to be an explosive. But it does have a lot of energy. In fact, if you were to somehow release all the energy in the wood at once, it would be the equivalent of 14 M67 grenades. So, energy matters, and time matters, which is where explosives come in. A chemical explosive is a substance that can undergo a chemical chain reaction in a very short period of time. Now all these explosives do is release hot, expanding gas, which you wouldn't really expect to be able to do this. So, to kill Kevin's little search drone, we'll get a nice fat bomb, strap it to something innocuous, and detonate it once it's close. For this job, we'll use this. A stroller. To prevent suspicion, we need a brave Kerbal volunteer to act as the baby. Otherwise, our plan would be far too obvious. The plan is simple. Drive up next to the drone and detonate the bomb. If we're seen, we play it cool and act as if we're just another baby in its stroller. Okay, enough talking. Let's go blow some shit up. Excellent. The threat has been eliminated. Even better, many parts of the drone are undamaged and can be salvaged for our use in our next mission. In particular, the radar and the guns. This will be quite useful because our next target is a satellite in low ELU orbit. But first, guns. How do they work? It's pretty simple. Gunpowder explodes, hot gas expands, pressure builds up behind the bullet which pushes on it, and the bullet is shot out of the barrel at high speed. Guns have been around for quite a long time. But they used to look like this, and were pretty shit. These old muskets required you to carry around 2 separate pouches for gunpowder and bullets. The powder would be poured down the end of the barrel, and the bullet would be placed on top. Then you get a big old stick and compact the powder and bullet, remove the stick, pour a bit of powder on this thing called the pan, cock the musket, full cock. And finally, you could shoot. 1 bullet. Then you'd have to do that all over again. Eventually, someone realized that shooting once every 20 seconds was less than ideal, and proper bullets, clips, belts, and magazines were invented. These could feed a gun as fast as its operator could chamber a new round. But this is also far too slow. What? Instead of manually operating the bolt like a peasant, people realized that the recoil of the gun could do that for you. And thus, the machine gun was born. Now, bullets don't actually have that much kinetic energy, but they deploy it in a fraction of a second. Take this 50 BMG round. 50 BMG rounds can do this. Pretty impressive. Since the bullet is 45 grams and exits the barrel at 908 meters per second, we can use this equation and some quick maths to figure out that it only has about 18 kilojoules of energy. Or 5 calories. So, we've got a gun, now we need some way of aiming it. If I take this gun and try shoot down something passing overhead, this happens. The gun is aiming at where the plane is, rather than where the plane will be, and isn't leading its shots enough to get any hits. To lead our shots properly, we need to know the target's speed, distance, and direction it's traveling in. This is where radar comes in. Radar waves are simply another form of light with a much longer wavelength. If we shoot a bunch of radar waves at our target, a short amount of time later we'll receive them back. Since we know how fast light travels, we can work out how far away an object is by measuring the time between sending and receiving the signal and dividing that by 2. We can also tell how fast it's moving by either taking its position at 2 points in time and finding the distance it covers, or by using what's called the Doppler effect. Basically, since the target is moving at a different speed than our radar, the radar waves it reflects will either be a little bit stretched or a little bit squished. Now, if we combine this funky radar technology with our gun, we get this. The Goalkeeper CIWS. The radar allows the gun to track a target, find its range and speed, and then aim at the exact spot it'll be once its bullets reach there. And, would you look at that? 1 CIWS, ready to go. All we need to do now is wait for that pesky satellite. Alright, next up, we're going to commandeer an ore tanker coming from one of Kevin's mining outposts on Bop. Now thus far, we've remained undetected, and I'd like to keep it that way. So instead of something big and flashy, we're going to build a ship with a laser weapon thing and a single Kerbal on a seat. The laser will destroy the guard drone, and the Kerbal will take over the tanker with the help of a very special weapon. This beautiful craft will be named Thrombus. So let's go. Now the guard drone is dead, we dismount our Kerbal and send him in. And the ore tanker has been secured. Now we can take it back to base and use its ore to make more mining stations to build our crafts even faster. But first, we've used guns. But what if I told you that we don't need gunpowder to accelerate our little projectile? Railguns. Regular guns use good old expanding gas to move projectiles, but railguns use magnetic fields and electricity. But why bother? Regular guns are just fine. It's all about speed. That 50 PMG round I was talking about earlier could go at 908 meters per second. That's pretty dang fast, right? Yes. But if you want to go faster, then you're out of luck. Gas-powered weapons rely on how fast the gas is physically capable of expanding, and 908 meters per second is approaching the upper limit. But railguns don't have an upper limit. In fact, the only limit on their speed is how much power you can dump into the system. So how do they work? Well, you get two conductive rails and put the projectile in between them, which completes the circuit. Once you fire, a huge amount of power is delivered from capacitors into the rails, which creates an incredibly powerful magnetic field and launches the projectile forwards. These bad boys have been able to shoot projectiles at over 2,500 meters per second, which in KSP terms is orbital velocity. What we're going to use this technology on is this. Kevin has basically stolen the Ouagadougou design and placed it in dual orbit to collect antimatter for his fleet. Now, if you remember last video, you know that per kilo, antimatter is pretty much the most explosive thing in the universe. And since Kevin's collector has a fair amount of it in storage, that makes this craft quite vulnerable. He's tried to cover for this fact by armoring up the area around the antimatter container, which is where our new railgun system comes in. The best way to cut through armor is to move faster, and railguns definitely make stuff move faster. So all you need to do is sneak in a small ship with a railgun, aim it at the antimatter storage, sit back, and watch the single, very big gamma ray firework. For this job, we've come up with this beautiful craft. Peebus. So, let's go. Yeah! So far, the weapons that we've been using have been pretty baby. Sure, setting off an antimatter container creates an enormous explosion, but we don't have any antimatter and we can't really make it. But what we do have is uranium. Uranium, of course, can be made into bombs. Nuclear bombs. Nuclear bombs operate on a fairly simple principle. Fission. Or the splitting of atoms. You split apart atoms, split atoms release energy and other particles, which go and split more atoms. This releases an enormous amount of energy. Nuclear weapon yields are measured in kilotons or megatons, referring to the equivalent amount of TNT that you'd need to detonate to match it. Now, the way you actually go about doing all this is the tricky part. There's only one natural element that's fissile, that being uranium. But uranium is pretty common, and by itself not very good for making bombs with. What you really need is a special isotope of uranium, uranium-235. The most common form of uranium, U-238, can't sustain a nuclear chain reaction, but U-235 can. The only problem is 99.3% of natural uranium is 238, whereas U-235 only makes up 0.7%. In order to make our bomb, we need to enrich this uranium from 0.7% to over 80%. This is very difficult, because chemically they're almost the exact same. The only useful difference is that U-238 has 3 more neutrons, which makes it ever so slightly heavier. The first machine used to enrich uranium was this, the Calutron, a mass spectrometer which enriched 0.7% uranium to 25% uranium at a huge rate of 50 micrograms per hour. This would take 20,000 hours or 2 years of continuous operation to make 1 single gram. It worked by shooting an ionized beam of uranium through a magnetic field. This magnetic field would deflect the beam into a collector. Since the U-238 is slightly heavier, it was deflected less than the U-235, which meant you could separate the two just a little bit. The U-235 for the Manhattan Project was made using this method, and thousands of Calutrons were built, but later dismantled for better methods, like the gas centrifuge. These bad boys take in uranium hexafluoride gas, put it into a centrifuge spinning thousands of times per second, and using the slight difference in mass, a very slightly more enriched stream of gas comes out. This needs to be repeated thousands of times, and then you get highly enriched uranium hexafluoride, which you can process later into uranium metal. Now that we've got the stuff, we need to find a way to make it go boom. The first nuclear bomb used in war, the Little Boy, used a gun design, where one part of the U-235 was shot into another using chemical explosives. Once the two parts combined, they became critical, and a nuclear chain reaction began. This was the second ever nuclear detonation and was fairly primitive by today's standards. Pretty much every nuclear weapon these days is a thermonuclear weapon. Thermonuclear bombs are a two-stage design where a regular fission bomb explodes and sets off a secondary fusion stage. That's right, they use a nuclear bomb to detonate an even more powerful nuclear bomb. Pure fission bombs can at most achieve 500 kilotons of yield, whereas thermonuclear bombs can go from several hundred kilotons to tens of megatons. The largest of these devices was the Soviet Tsar bomb, which exploded with a yield of 50 megatons. However, the design of this bomb called for a 100 megaton yield, which was scaled back once they realized that that was dumb. Anyway, we're going to use all this funky nuclear technology and stick it in this. The B-83 nuclear bomb, a thermonuclear device with a maximum yield of 1.3 megatons. Our delivery vehicle will be this, a hypersonic interplanetary missile. Our target is Kevin's Lathe base, which is well defended with surface-to-air missile batteries and patrolling aircraft. It'll speed towards Lathe, turn on its air-breathing engines, fly low to avoid detection by radar, and deliver our little present to the base. So, let's launch. Nice. Moving closer to Kerbin, we have the planet you forgot exists, Drez. This planet is unremarkable, and of course, Kevin forgot to put any sort of military presence there whatsoever. We're going to use this blind spot to build up a very large presence, using the minerals in its surface to construct a weapon. A very special weapon. But that'll take some time, and a lot of mining drones. Moving even closer, Duna, where Kevin has a fairly sizable presence, a base with a few tanks, and a whole bunch of surface-to-air missile sites. In some simulations, this base proved to be a tough nut to crack. I tried a helicopter, but Duna's atmosphere was prohibitively thin. I tried some tanks, but Kevin's battalion outgunned us very easily. I tried this high-speed bomber, which was shot down immediately. But then, I had an idea. You see, nuclear warheads underwent many design iterations during their development. Increased power, deliverable versions in bombs, and smaller warheads. One such development was this, the W9. This warhead was small enough that it could be loaded into an artillery shell and fired out of a gun. This gun was called Atomic Annie, and could fire this projectile up to 30 kilometers away. The warhead itself had a yield of 15 kilotons, which was equivalent to Little Boy. Now, this cannon is great, but it's vulnerable to aeroplanes. Lucky for us though, Kevin assumed that Duna couldn't support any planes since it has no oxygen, and didn't investigate further than that, so no planes to worry about. All we need to do now is send it over. So let's go. Wonderful. Gentlemen, I think it's time we scale things up. Moving back to Drez, as you can see, we've mined a lot of stuff and completed production of our special weapon. An engine. A really, really big engine. But where to move it? We've taken Jewel and Duna, I don't want to destroy Kerbin, and Moho, he's cool. This leaves one last target. Eve. I don't like Eve one bit, and Kevin has built a lot of stuff on it. SAM sites, surface bases, aircraft, orbiting platforms. But I don't have to deal with that stuff, or with Eve, if it's not there. Gentlemen, start the engines. What the fuck? Turning our attention back to Kerbin, this is where the bulk of Kevin's force is. He has hundreds of planes, tanks, and drones. But at this point, so do we. And ours all happen to be stationed in orbit, ready to strike at any moment. And now is that moment. Holy fuck! I smell something. Ah, Jesus Christ! You're an alien! I fucking knew it! You can't fool me, you little shit. I had you from day one. Alright, well. I'm just gonna go over here and punch in some numbers. Don't worry about it, Kevin. And start charging. Alrighty, Kev. I'm sending you back to Proxima Centauri. Clearly where you belong. So see you later, Kevin. May we never meet ever again. And that's it, fellas. I'm done. I'm free. No more KSP. Hello again. Welcome back. Today, we'll be slightly deviating from convention. Instead of a game, we're looking at a map from the truest of classics, Half-Life. But with a twist. We aren't playing Half-Life. My condolences, but you have fallen for my clickbait trap. We're playing a very old mod for Half-Life called Sven Co-op. For those interested, it can be found on Steam for the great, very good, excellent price of $0. Originally, Sven Co-op was created as a way of playing the Half-Life single-player campaign for your fellow living, breathing, and sometimes even screaming apes. Today, we won't be doing that. Instead, we'll be going onto the map selector, scrolling down a bit, and choosing BM_STS.
Oh, a new player joined. Welcome.
The single greatest custom map in all of Half-Life. That's quite the assertion, I know, but trust me, I will back it up with facts, and perhaps, even logic. So how does STS actually work? Well, that's a good question. Firstly, we need a point of reference to compare to. The standard Half-Life experience can be boiled down to a pretty simple loop. Go to a new area, shoot guys, find ammo and weapons, find a way to the next area, repeat. It's simple, and it works.
Don't do it. Don't do it. No!
So what elements does STS have in common? None. Instead of fighting other players or monsters directly, you and your team fight by proxy against the other team. So basically, it's the Middle East. Fighting on your behalf are Vietnamese monsters and allies from the original Half-Life games. They're represented by these crystals. At the beginning of each round, 4 of these crystals are turned into their respective monsters and placed into a randomly selected arena. Then, they engage in either hand-to-hand combat or shoot each other until they kill or die. Whoever is standing at the end wins. Fairly simple. It plays somewhat like a poorly regulated cockfighting ring, but with monsters from Half-Life rather than cock. To win the game, you must win a certain number of rounds. Today, we'll need to win 12. The teams in today's game are blue and red. Blue team has 3 players, El Jefe, Obama, and Man 349. On the red team is me, Egg, and Armadillo Meister. As you can see, 2 versus 3. An uphill battle. Perhaps even a losing fight. But, armed with our deep knowledge of the STS meta, Armadillo Meister and I are certainly capable of great things. Let us begin.
In the beginning.
Alrighty boys, we're in. We are in. Round 1 took us to the bluish tint of the Black Mesa reactor core. It's alright though, we're winning. We are doing strong. Come on, beat him up, beat him up, beat him up. And before we knew it, we had won. Red team won the round. That's great, but what just happened? Well, the round began and our squad spawned in. As Sun Tzu once said, know yourself and you will win all battles. Sun Tzu. You see, before the round began, we upgraded our crystals with our stock of research points, some bull chickens for offense, and some medics in the back to heal them up. Very good. Before round 2 began, we used some more research points to randomize the monsters again. We got fairly lucky and managed to roll a strength 2 rare Barney. Pretty pog. Round 2 took us to the wonderful Black Mesa rail interchange thing. This map is fun because... And we won again! Our bull chickens were clearly very capable monsters, and the Barneys complemented them with their long-range firepower. Nice. Next up, we're not playing a normal round. We're playing a bonus round. Now this is where the game is actually decided. Not by the monsters in the arena, but by our team's performance in the bonus round. This round is survival. 4 gigantic headcrabs are placed into a small arena with all of the players. One wrong move, and you die. Begin.
Oh wait, there's 2.
No! How many seconds? How long? 15. Oh my god.
Now let me be clear.
I think that's just fucking
Yes!
There we go.
Whoa. Hey, look at that. I didn't die. Which means our team was given 10 research points. All up, we had 22 research points to spend on our boys. But how do we spend these points? Do we randomize until we get some really powerful monsters on the purplish crystals? Or do we take one of them and upgrade it to a blue crystal? We upgrade, of course. This gives us access to a pool of stronger monsters. We were also left with 4 points that we could use to randomize the blue crystal. Unfortunately, we got unlucky and rolled a strength 1 alien grunt. Not a pog. So, we hit the ready up lever and went out into the hallway.
I cosplayed Joker.
I don't remember the lines.
Yeah, but it
Something,
heals really fast.
society, and then I blow your brains out.
Round 3 took us to the yellow map.
Oh, I like this map.
A very close quarters map that would benefit a particular monster quite a lot. Unfortunately, we didn't have one. Oh, the H grunts are going in. What the fuck is that? What the fuck is that? Oh my god!
What the hell is that? What is that? Level 3 medics really.
Ah shit. We lost. You see, our adversaries had studied their matchups and chosen their monsters wisely. As Sun Tzu once said, when in doubt, pit drone it out. Sun Tzu. They had followed this advice to a T and gotten 2 very strong pit drones. We were no match. Not to worry though, before the next round began, we managed to get a legendary pit drone of our own. Round 4 took us to the lovely pool of toxic waste. Our pit drone sprinted into battle, collapsed over, and died immediately. We lost that round. Bonus round 2! In this bonus round, each player is given a Gauss rifle. Each kill on an enemy player nets your team 2 points. As you can imagine, with 2 players, we did not do very well.
Go over to the red square. Go over to the red.
Round 5. We won. Round 6. We also won. Bonus round 3. Each player is given a Vietnam-style burst fire M16. 2 points per kill. Begin. Oh my god.
Kristen in the back.
Piss off, Nathan!
Oh, I'm really
So fucking hard to aim! Oh, we are just getting fucked on.
No, I'm not.
Ah! Very good. Before round 7 began, my teammate suffered a classic Australian moment.
Holy shit, that's a huge spider. I'll be back.
Not to worry, he sorted it out.
There it is. Fucker. Fucker. Oh my god, it's huge. It's so fucking big.
What the fuck?
We then went on to win the round. Round 8 began and some random dude decided to join the server. You see, we weren't hosting a private server ourselves. Instead, we had simply found someone else's empty server and commandeered it for our own use. Each player is able to vote on things like the map or kicking other players. Very nice. So their server became our server. Oh yeah, and we won the round. Bonus 4. This one is pretty terrible for us. The objective is to get to the end of this level, and then it says,
Fantastic.
each time you get to the end, you get 5 points. As a 2-player team, this wasn't very good. Quickfire rounds, go! Round 9, we lost. Round 10, giant really dark map. We won. Bonus 5, capture the batteries, kill the enemies. Round 11. We lost real bad. As you can hear, Mr. Obama is snickering at us. Dude, those fucking... Great. Oh, now he's moving. Cool.
He just fucking ran up.
How dare he? You see, our adversaries had come well prepared, and were putting up a strong fight. As Sun Tzu once said, all warfare is based... Sun Tzu. Round 12. Baby guys, go! Go! Yes! We won again. Bonus 6. Spooky ghosts. Ooh, no. Oh no. Ooh. Oh!
Yes.
Fuck! Okay. The early game is done. On to the mid game, where the boys become men. There are 2 opposing schools of thought when it comes to the STS mid game. Is it better to spend your points randomizing the crystals to get strong, low-tier monsters? Or is it better to spend your points upgrading the crystals to weak, but high-tier monsters? Round 13, once again, took us to the blue tint of the Black Masonry and we lost. It seems like the blue team has gone with the strong, low-tier monsters. While our crystals are higher tier, and have the potential to be better, theirs are actually better, because they've done a lot of rerolls and gotten the strongest of the low-tier monsters. Round 14 took us to the big grey map. Our team spawned on each other's heads, got squished, and had a very long nap. We lost again. Bonus 7. This one is truly fucked. The goal is to survive 90 seconds. These things are called gargantuas, and oh boy, do they like to grill. Whoa.
Oh, it's on me!
Holler! Round 15. We lost again. Round 16. Before this round began, we decided to spend some of the research points on rerolls. We spent a whole bunch and didn't get much. But, during the round, the incredible happened. Holy shit. Okay, this is good. Our boys clutched it up, and we won. Bonus 8. Capture the flag. Each player is given whatever the hell this thing is, and must bring the flag from the center to their spawn. Or, in their case, into the yellow team spawn. Good one, mate.
Like yellow team's good.
Yellow team's good.
Round 17. We lost. Round 18. We lost again. Bonus 9. Spooky Ghosts. Part 2. Oh my god.
Let's go, boys.
Oh, okay.
Sort of grenade.
Are you...
Yeah, see you later.
So, the game is 9-all. The blue team seems to be dominating. In the last 6 rounds, we've lost 5. But, this was all part of our master plan. Coming out of the bonus round, our team had 40 points to spend. So naturally, we upgraded 1 crystal to the final tier. Most of the monsters in this tier are very strong. But one monster stands above the rest. We had 10 points to reroll the crystals, and if we were lucky, it would be ours. And, after 5 rerolls, we got it. The Big Mama. The blue team had fallen into our trap, and we were about to capitalize. Round 19 began. The Big Mama sprinted into battle. One died, but that's not important. He just died! But the other one used its most deadly weapon, the cum artillery. Round 20. We got some Bonus 10. Capture the flag. This wasn't that important. The end was surely near. All we needed was one more round. Round 21. Before the round began, I quite possibly had the smallest brain moment of my life. I decided one awesome Big Mama wasn't good enough, and went for the rerolls. I hoped we would get the same monster, but with higher strength, which basically means more of them. Instead, we got trash. Unfortunately, this coincided with the blue team's plan. The blue team had seen the power of cum, and saved their points for this one moment. The round began, and to our utter shock, they had 2 awesome Big Mamas of their own. Or no. We lost. Round 22. We chose not to reroll, and suffered the consequences. Bonus 11. Deathmatch with whatever the hell these things are. This bonus round was of utmost importance. If we got a lot of points, we had a chance of upgrading another crystal. And, if we were lucky, maybe getting some awesome Big Mamas of our own.
The hell is this thing? What the hell? Oh, you can ride the train.
Round 23. The game was tied, 11 to 11. Whichever team won this round would win the game. After the bonus round ended, we had 31 points to use re-rolling our 2 pink crystals. On our second re-roll, we got what we wanted. A Strength 3 Awesome Big Mama. We also managed to roll another Strength 1 Awesome Big Mama on the second crystal. We were ready. We hit the lever, and for a final time, met our adversaries in the hallway. The final round was to be held on the yellow map. Both squads spawned in, and the artillery was launched. More times. Come on.
No.
Yeah!
Let's go!
Oh my god, it's literally that easy.
It is that easy. I'm so.
Hello.
Yeah, get
This is
fucked
such
by
big
baby
bullshit.
Gargantua.
Such bullshit.
Yeah, bro. As I said, we gotta be as salty.
It's so
Right,
bullshit, man.
Yeah, bro.
It's
the
literally
game is
just
rigged,
Big
bro.
Mama.
The game is literally rigged, bro.
It's
Oh, right,
literally
I'm
just
moving
Big
up there.
Mama. And it's so boring.
Yeah, bro. It wasn't boring when
I'm
we
hiding.
had.
I'm staying alive.
Yeah, I know. This is so.
That's the victory sound that I like to hear. Good evening. Welcome back to Factorio. Several years ago, I started a playthrough of Factorio Space Exploration, and in this video, I'm gonna finish it. That's right, boyos, today we maximize shareholder value across the entire galaxy, progressing through advanced technologies like orbital bombardment, spaceships, energy weapons, space elevators, high-power machinery, antimatter, bioengineered plague, this machine that gives you autism if you look at it, manipulating the very fabric of space-time itself, and the most advanced technology of all, talking to women. Nah, just kidding, we couldn't figure that one out. To beat this mod, we need to unlock these technologies and use them to build a spaceship that can fly all the way back to our home galaxy. However, fucking everything in this mod is trying to kill you, or drive you insane, or confuse you to the point of total organ failure. So to help me with this endeavor, I've once again employed my good friends, Ben and Tristan. So, let us begin. So, the elephant in the room. Mart, why has it been over 2 years since the last Factorio video? That's a great question. Oh my god, what's that over there? In part 1, we spent 100 hours building this wonderful factory, flooded the local public housing, used hundreds of balancer parts, and launched our first rocket into space. In part 2, we did an epic gamer move called restarting. Spent 44 hours on day 1, not sure how we did that, flew into space, built some outposts on other planets, and spent another 100 hours building this wonderful factory. At the end of that video, we left off right here on the planet Agni, just before we walked into this mysterious little pyramid full of renters. And this was where that video ended. And I didn't play Factorio again for over 2 years. I was busy. 2 years later, while rewatching Avatar 2, I realized that the humans were playing Factorio, and it was firing me up! Torch that fucking forest! Yes! Build turrets and walls! Yes! Kill those blue freaks! Yes! Dude, shut up. Oh, I'm sorry. And for the first time in years that night, I fired up Factorio. Gentlemen, it was time for a tour. We've got the main area and the big boy bus, mines and production facilities connected together with a rail network, supersonic trains zipping around at supersonic speeds, a BBW protecting us from the disgusting, unwashed proletariat, this rocket launch area for launching rockets into your mom, these perfect nuclear reactors powering everything with no flaws whatsoever, the base in space, 2 bases on other planets, and most importantly, the Zaza. This tour left me feeling concerned. You see, this factory took over 100 hours to build and could make 8 science packs. Pretty respectable, but if we wanted to build that intergalactic spaceship, we'd have to automate all the science packs. Gentlemen, it was time to expand. Energy science, the target of our next grand expansion. So I plonked down a manufactory to see how we make it, and died from lack of brain. Every one of these mid-game science packs needs 4 unique data cards. Energy Science 1 needs polarization data in a laser facility, which I can make, radiation data in a radiation facility, which I can make, and electromagnetic field data in an electromagnetics facility, which I can also make. Are you still following me? The final card, conductivity data, is also made in an electromagnetics facility. It takes a bunch of items that we can already make, and holmium plates. And this is where it gets a little silly. Holmium plates are made from holmium ingots, which are made from molten holmium, which is made from holmium powder, which is made from holmium chloride, which is made from crushed holmium, which is made from holmonite ore. Holmonite ore, as you can probably guess, is nowhere to be found on our home planet Norvis. So I hopped into a rocket, flew over to a new planet, Ninlil, mined holmonite, crushed it into crushed holmonite, and of course... Turned the crushed holmonite into holmium chloride, shipped the holmium chloride back to Norvis, made the holmium chloride into holmium powder, melted the holmium powder into holmium liquid, cast the holmium liquid into holmium ingots, put them on a train, took them off a train, onto a belt, into a delivery cannon, shot them into space, made them into plates, put those plates into an electromagnetics facility making conductivity data. The 4 data cards we made can now be combined in a soup. A computer to make an energy catalog. That energy catalog can be made into energy insight. Are you still following me? That insight into significant data, and what do you know? We can make energy science. Oh yeah, 1. Well, that only took, what, 14 hours? I think I'm gonna kill myself! Speaking of killing myself, Ben. Him and I had been extremely busy expanding, constructing, synergizing, and maximizing stakeholder value. But beneath our feet, something had been brewing. And no, I'm not talking about the log in the toilet. Uranium. About 50 hours ago, this uranium mine ran out. I knew it ran out, Ben knew it ran out, but we didn't do anything about it. Why? Well, we had somewhere on the order of 50 bajillion uranium stored in these 2 warehouses. However, our factory used approximately 1 bajillion uranium per hour, so over the course of 50 hours, the warehouses had been depleted. Wait. Uh-oh. Wait. This is bad. As the factory entered into a power death spiral, Ben and I then saw something much worse. In exactly 2 minutes, the sun would do a little trolling. And the only way to defend ourselves was pumping 2 gigawatts of power into this umbrella defense. We had precisely 0. There's no fucking power. I can't reprocess the fuel! Fuck! No! Fuck! This could not have come at a worse time. No, boss. The Bosch! No, the Bosch has been destroyed.
That's the first one.
Oh. Bruh. Oh my god.
And there it is.
With the base now medium rare, we had to find a way to switch the whole machine back on again, which proved to have several problems. Problem 1, no power. Problem 2, no uranium. Problem 3, to make power we need uranium. And problem 4, to mine uranium we need power. This is what the professionals call a bit of a pickle. So, while Ben got to work building a new uranium mine, I scratched my head trying to figure out how to switch the power back on. And then it came to me. Nuclear fuel reprocessing. During the Colonial Mass Ejection Sun Ass Blast 9000, I had managed to scrounge together 20 whole fuel cells. Now this wouldn't be enough to jumpstart the factory, so I built this. A small setup for centrifuging spent nuclear fuel cells back into uranium. To power it, I used these solar panels. And once I made some uranium, I turned that into fuel cells, and threw those fuel cells into the reactors. This did exactly nothing, because these reactors had a fundamental design flaw. The pumps pumping water into the heat exchangers share power with the rest of the factory. So if the factory is dead, the pumps are dead. This was no longer a bit of a pickle. This was a lot of a pickle. Not to worry, because we had 2 other small nuclear reactors just lying around, and these ones had pumps on separate power networks. So once I switched these on, the roboports were able to charge back up, and the main reactors in the lake could turn on. However, we were then presented with a brand new pickle. Despite all the reactors being on at full bore, the factory was still fucked. The delivery cannons didn't know when to stop shooting, and the rockets thought it would be a great idea to fill themselves with random bullshit. Oh my god, what the fuck? A full rocket load of random bullshit is a lot of resources, which made the rest of the factory kick on, and soon enough, everything was running at full power and the reactors couldn't keep up. This is a fucking disaster. This was no longer a lot of a pickle. This was an ostrobogulous sum of pickle. Too much pickle for the feeble human mind to comprehend. The solution was simple. Build another reactor. This, however, was complicated by our good friend Tristan, who, at that exact moment, decided it would be funny to join the game, hop into a motor vehicle, and plow it through all of our nuclear reactor equipment. Tristan, what the fuck did you do to them all? Dude, I'm gonna fucking kill you! This added substantially to the already ostrobogulous sum of pickle, creating a pickle singularity collapsing into itself and destroying the known universe. But, lucky for Tristan, we did in fact have some spare reactor parts lying around. And finally, the power was back on.
Oh, yes.
Come on, yes, there we go. The mine was built, and uranium was flowing once again.
We're back.
We're so back. Did I end up fixing the fundamental design flaw of the nuclear reactors? No. Like any good engineer, I scaled it up and pretended the problem didn't exist. A problem I couldn't ignore, however, was Tristan.
Listening to NBA Youngboy.
Yup. It turns out Tristan has been quite the antagonizer over the last several hundred hours. And quite frankly, I'd had enough. Now yes, there was always the option of shooting him in the face, but 10 seconds later he'd respawn and continue on his merry way. I wanted something a bit more permanent. Yo, Trista, come to the rocket area. I want to expand to a new planet. Alright, Tristo. Hop in the rocket.
This one?
This rocket. We're gonna expand to a brand new planet, okay?
I'm in.
Alright. See ya.
What the fuck? What the fuck? Alright, bye. Fuck. Hey. Oh no. The fuck?
Your brand new world, Tristan. Your brand new little playground.
Oh my god.
And with the great antagonizer dealt with once and for all, I could finally relax. Of course, the relaxation didn't last very long when I remembered we had literally only made one new science pack out of 20. With my sleep schedule getting steadily more abused, I moved on to Energy Science 2 and 3, which didn't need any new resources. Just a whole bunch more space and 12 new data cards. Rest assured, it was painful. Energy Science 4 was still out of reach behind Astronomic Science, and I didn't want to do that yet. Instead, I wanted to get my dirty little mitts on Piss Science Advanced. Or Material Science, I guess. So, imagine that whole rigmarole fuckamagee that we just did to get Energy Science. Well, we have to do all of that, all over again, this time with iridium instead of holmium. So, it's time to lock in. The closest source of iridium ore is on this planet Silverhorn. I took a quick flight there on Delta Airlines, which thought it would be funny if we landed in the fucking creek. Mined iridite, crushed iridite, shipped the crushed shit back to Norvis, built this huge machine for processing that crushed shit, first into iridium powder, that powder into iridium blast cake, but oh wait, sorry fucko, iridium blast cake needs enriched vulcanite. That's an intermediate product in vulcanite production that we can only make on the planet Agni. So I went to Agni, built yet another rocket, loaded it up with enriched vulcanite, flew that shit back to Norvis, added it to the rail network, made that blast cake. Can I eat the blast cake? What? No. Turned that blast cake into ingots, shot the ingots into space, made those ingots into plates, made data cards, then catalogs, insight, significant data, and finally, science packs. Material science 1, then 2, and 3, and then 4. And that only took 20 hours. All this factory building was stressing me out, but luckily for me, this was precisely when I ran into an old friend. A friendly biter that we'd thrown down at the very start of the game. I got close to friend, and I could have sworn he told me to quote,
Send 2,000 biters directly to hell with the incendiary artillery.
okay. And just like that, all my stress melted away. Kind of like this little guy's entire family. This bit of biter incineration gave me the strength to continue our galactic conquest. And next on the agenda was astronomic science, which yet again involved a new resource, some long-ass production chain, and 18 million different data cards. Introducing rigmarole fuckamagee number 3, beryllium. Once again, beryllium can't be found on Norvis, so into a rocket I went, flying it over to a new planet, Dionysus. However, before I could begin the refining process, I had to deal with the locals. A few dozen Biden-esques spread across the planet, minding their own business. Much better. With biters now eradicated on Dionysus, it was time to extract our beryllium. And at this point, I think you know the drill. First, we mine it, then we move it, crush it, squeeze it, pull it, bop it, twist it, get run over by a train, melt it, cast it, chop it, zap it, and bang! Beryllium ingots. Those beryllium ingots are loaded into a rocket, flown back to Norvis, put on a train, taken off a train, put onto a belt, put into a delivery cannon, and shot into space to make astronomic science. Astronomic science uses a combination of these cool telescopes, observation frames, and of course plenty of gnomes, to make, like, observations. Or something. These observations are then combined into data cards, those data cards into catalogs, those catalogs into insight, insight into significant data, and significant data into science packs. Way! Astro Science 1, 2, and 3 got us new, fancy technologies, like the pylon substation, which has a really big electrical range, the space elevator, which can bring trains into space, and spaceships. Now, we actually already had a spaceship. This one that we found in the asteroid belt that Ben had lovingly named the Cum Wagon.
Yeah.
Hey, wait a second. With our new spaceship technology, I could upgrade the Cum Wagon and even make new ships. So I made a new ship, named it the Bug, and flew it over to Tristan's planet. Tristan, of course, stole my engine. Little bastard. Astronomic Science 4 and Energy Science 4 each needed a special data card, probe data, which is made by launching a probe in either the sun's orbit for solar probe data or in an asteroid belt for asteroid belt probe data. Using a dedicated spaceship, we can make it automatically fly to the sun, shoot off a bunch of probes, get a bunch of data, and fly back. With that automated, Astro and Energy Science 4 were only a matter of bringing it all together. And with that done, we could research the next big leap in materials processing, Naquium. So we began research just in time for me to do this. Getting back to my corpse was easy, but shooting this rocket had done something far worse than kill me. It blew up all of our asteroid field probe data. And this is where I found out our factory had a few issues. My first thought was, let's fly back to the asteroid field and get some more data. But the ship didn't have any space probe rockets. I checked the Space Probe rocket manufactory, and there weren't any Space Probe rockets because there wasn't enough aeroframe scaffold. Aeroframe scaffold is made down on Norvis, and they weren't being made because we didn't have any aeroframe poles. We didn't have any aeroframe poles because we had no beryllium plates, and we didn't have beryllium plates because we didn't have beryllium ingots. On Dionysus, the beryllium rocket was completely empty because the beryllium production was completely stopped. And the beryllium production was completely stopped because there wasn't any pyroflux. There wasn't any pyroflux because we were missing vulcanite blocks. Vulcanite blocks come from this delivery cannon on Norvis, which was completely empty. Tracing the empty belt back to the train station, there were no vulcanite blocks there either. Vulcanite blocks are made on Agni, so I went over to Agni, which was working fine. The production was moving, and the rocket was full of vulcanite. The rocket was full of vulcanite, but it wasn't full of fuel. We make our liquid rocket fuel here, and the liquid rocket fuel was lacking solid rocket fuel, which was lacking coal. This chest is normally completely full of coal, so tracing this belt back to the coal mine, I found it was working just fine. But about 50 hours ago, the belt carrying the coal had been directly hit by an asteroid. The entire factory had come grinding to a halt because of one singular rock. So I fixed the coal belt, allowing solid fuel to be made, which was made into liquid rocket fuel, put into the rocket could deliver the vulcanite to the factory, the trains could take that vulcanite to the main base, the vulcanite could travel up to the delivery cannon, shot over to Dionysus, made into pyroflux, that pyroflux into beryllium ingots, those ingots back into a rocket, that rocket back to Norvis, those ingots into beryllium plates, those plates into aeroframe poles, those aeroframe poles into aeroframe scaffold, that scaffold shipped into space with a train, put into probe rockets, those probe rockets into the asteroid field spaceship, that spaceship back to the asteroid field, send the probes, get the data, head back to Norvis, stick them into science packs, and finally, we could research Naquium processing. Yippee! Of course, once we researched Naquium processing, we realized that to actually process the Naquium, we'd need vitalic acid. And to get vitalic acid, we'd need biological science. Fuck. Biological science, like the rest of the sciences, needed yet another new resource called vitamelange. Luckily, a nearby moon, Alecto, was absolutely covered in vitamelange. So Ben and I loaded up on the now highly modified cum wagon and flew it over. This was the last planetary outpost we had to make, and we made sure to bring absolutely everything we could possibly want. However, we forgot just one teeny weeny little detail. Vitamelange only spawns on planets with biters, and Alecto has a lot of biters. Oh god, oh Ben, oh fuck, you made a mistake.
Oh fuck.
Bro.
How do I put it on? The fucking breach.
Bro, we're so fucked!
What do I need? Inserter.
Ben! Ben, I made a mistake, Ben, help!
Oh my god.
No, I'm going in. Fuck it, I'm going in. Oh no. Oh.
We can... Give me a second,
Nah.
I'm making all shit.
Nah, dude, it's
die.
fucking over.
Oh, and yeah. Alright, shit.
Fuck. For the first time in a very long time, the biters had unionized and succeeded in keeping Alecto clean and factory free. This was fucking bullshit. The Rentoids had won this time, but their victory had awakened our landlord Wrath. And our landlord Wrath would be back soon. With biter racism at an all-time high, Ben and I got to work on the Wildlife Harmonization Initiative, proactively aligning indigenous species management with our industrial ecosystem through dynamic habitat restructuring, fostering a balanced coexistence paradigm. That's what I told the investors anyway. In reality, we were going to fucking vaporize them from orbit with several fancy new toys. So we headed back over to Alecto and began work. With a safe area cleared, we rapidly began industrializing, building a cuck box, nuclear reactor, walls, turrets, mines, and a hefty production site to extract that sweet vitamelange. Over time, the orbital death rays would automatically target biter nests, gradually clearing the entire planet. Of course, that was a lot slower than just doing this. Vitamelange, like the other resources, required several steps in its production chain, crushing into nuggets, growing into blooms, sucking out the spice, and extracting the extract. With Vitamelange on rockets and heading back to Norvis, it was time to make our science, and at this point, it's getting a little repetitive. To make all 4 sciences, we need 16 different data cards. Those are combined into catalogs, then insight, significant data, and science packs. Bioscience was somewhat annoying in that it uses about 5 million different fluids, but I did figure it out and got it all automated. In about 15 hours. I haven't felt the warmth of a woman in years. And with that, we had finished all of the mid-game science packs. And to sweeten the deal even more, once I finished Bioscience 4, I found this technology. The Plague. So I researched the Plague and built a building to produce the Plague. And once the Plague was produced, Ben and I took it down to Norvis and gave it a go. 3, 2, 1, go! Oh, I don't know. Oh, yes, I see. There's a radius of trees getting destroyed. Look, the trees.
Oh, yeah.
Yo. Yeah, they just spontaneously die. One single plague rocket is capable of wiping out all life on an entire planet. Every tree, biter nest, fish, even friend. No! Friend! No! No! What have we done, Ben? What have we done?
What have we done?
No!
Friend corpse.
Friend corpse. That's so fucked up. Several minutes of intense lag later, the planet had been cleared. The war was over, the biters had lost, and the fish and trees were a worthy sacrifice. Well, kinda. We'd been making use of fish to extract microplastics from them. Without fish, the microplastic extraction machine would lay dormant for the rest of time. So, with the war won, it was time to get our hands on some Naquium and automate those last 4 science packs. Naquium is a resource that can't be found on any planet. Its only presence in the entire galaxy lies in deep space asteroid fields, far, far away from any sunlight. To cross this vast distance, we needed to build a new nuclear-powered ship with a slightly funny shape. With that built, we set off, flying past the moons of Norvis, through the asteroid belts, out of the solar gravity well, and into deep space. Further out than we'd ever traveled before. I'd picked out the closest asteroid field, Shattered Skies, which was a 20-minute flight. So while I waited, I watched Tristan.
I've got hoes. I got hoes.
Landing at the asteroid field, a profound solitude descended. Only I, fragments of celestial debris, and the immense, echoing void separating this desolate perch from home. Or something like that, I don't know. I was here to exploit this place's mineral resources. So I found the closest patch of Naquitite, mined it, crushed it, and shipped it back home. Back at Norvis orbit, I loaded the crushed Naquitite on a train and shipped it down to the surface to begin processing. Predictably, refining Naquium into ingots is the longest, most tedious production chain in the entire game. And this time, let's not just gloss over it. I want you to truly understand how deep this shit goes. So, we begin the process with crushed Naquitite, and we turn that crushed Naquitite into refined Naquitite by combining it with beryllium hydroxide, blue exchange beads, and cryonite slush. Cryonite slush is easy, blue exchange beads are easy, but beryllium hydroxide is an intermediate in beryllium production that is currently only being made on Dionysus. So over to Dionysus I went, adding another rocket and shoving it full of beryllium hydroxide. Which is what I would have done if beryllium hydroxide wasn't a liquid. So I added beryllium sulfate to the rocket instead, shipped that to Norvis, refined it into beryllium hydroxide, and bang, we've got our refined Naquitite. And that's just step 1. Step 2, Naquium powder. Crushed Naquitite plus holmium cable plus vitalic acid plus red exchange beads. The refined Naquitite recipe actually turns its blue exchange beads into red exchange beads, but not enough to be useful. Just enough to be annoying. So we make some of those, ship in our vitalic acid and holmium cable, and bam, we've got Naquium powder. They also turn their red exchange beads back into blue exchange beads, so we've got to route those back to where they're needed. And now, step 3. Naquitite crystals, taking the products of step 1 and 2 and adding some vitalic reagent. And finally, Naquium ingots, taking all the products from steps 1, 2, and 3, adding some pyroflux and methane gas. I don't have any methane gas. So back to the asteroid field I went, mined some methane ice, which is really just solid fart, shipped the solid fart back to orbit, on a train, down to Norvis, melted into gaseous fart, and finally, we have the very last resource. Naquium. But did you think we were done? Sorry, fucko! Refined Naquitite and Naquium powder produce fuck-ass byproducts, namely beryllium powder and holmium powder. Can you guess how we deal with them? If you guessed throw it in the fucking creek, you'd be right. Well done. It took me so long to finish the Naquium setup that the energy beams on Electo switched off. Their purpose had been completed, and the entire planet was now cleared. So what can we do with this Naquium? You guessed it, fucko, we can make more science packs! Woo! Deep Space Science 1 needed more probe data, this time from an interstellar asteroid field, but was otherwise quite easy. Yeah! And Deep Space Science 2 was also quite easy. The sciences were quite easy, but we'd be needing a lot of these sciences. This wonderful Naquium ingot production was fast enough, but it was severely lacking in crushed naquitite. Shattered Skies, our closest asteroid field, was just not cutting that fucking mustard. So to find a better asteroid field, we politely asked the telescope gnomes to look out for anything of interest in deep space. Melancholia? What we did not anticipate them finding, however, was this. Telescope data analysis discovered a new anomaly, Phonestra. Whatever this thing was, it wasn't anywhere on the star map, and looking at it with the satellite uplink presented more questions than it answered. I had to go look. And we'd just built the next generation in zoomy spaceships, this one powered by antimatter. On the flight over, I realized that I could make the ship's name pretty long. And even longer. And even longer. What the fuck? Once we left the solar gravity well, we disappeared off the map. And soon enough, we'd arrived. Presumably, this was some sort of broken Stargate, and after picking up and piecing this thing back together, it did indeed look very Stargate-like. To finish building it, we'd need a Naquium processor, which we couldn't make yet. It seemed for the time being, we could go no further. But whatever this thing was, I was gonna get to the bottom of it. Naquium processors require Deep Space Science 3, and Deep Space Science 3 requires yet another new resource. That's right, I've lied to you. Naquium is not the final resource. Arcospheres are the final resource. And if you thought Naquium was complicated, Naquium is fucking goo goo gaga baby shit. Arcospheres are so much worse. First off, to get our hands on Arcospheres, we launch Arcosphere collector probes in a deep space asteroid field. We then stick these blank Arcospheres into a machine that turns them into one of the 8 different Greek letters. These Greek-lettered Arcospheres never get consumed, only change from one letter to another. And this is where it gets fucky. For example, let's use these Arcospheres on space dilation data. It takes zeta and omega and spits out phi and lambda. Run this recipe a few times and we're out of zeta and omega Arcospheres. I think you can see the problem here. To turn the now plentiful phis and lambdas back into the input Arcospheres, we use one of the 8 different Arcosphere folding recipes. Of course, it's not as easy as turning one Arcosphere into another. Arcosphere folding only lets you do 2 at a time. And this is the really fucky part. So, our goal is simple. Design a machine that can bring an uneven amount of Arcospheres back into equilibrium. In this example, we've got 160 total Arcospheres. There are 8 types, 160 divided by 8 is 20, so equilibrium means there are 20 of each. This is what we want, but this is what we have. So how do we get there? This letter, Xi, has 31 Arcospheres, which means it's 11 away from equilibrium. Gamma is 4 away from equilibrium, Epsilon is 3 away, Zeta is at equilibrium, Lambda is 3 away, Theta is 4, Omega is 4, and Phi is 7 away from equilibrium. Add all these numbers together and we get a total distance to equilibrium of 36. 36 is this current state's score, and the closer the score is to 0, the closer to equilibrium the whole system is. Now, we can be a little smart and run a simulation of each recipe. For example, this one, -1 Xi and -1 Zeta, which gives us +1 Theta and +1 Phi. Run our little function again, find the distance from equilibrium, add those distances together, and we get 34. 34 is a lower score than 36, which means the state is closer to equilibrium. So, we do that recipe. Do this over and over and over again, each time lowering our score a little, and eventually we reach equilibrium. And here's that machine in Factorio. Each of these constant combinators is one of the different folding recipes. This block calculates the score based on the recipe, we compare all the scores from each recipe, and whichever one has the lowest result, we do that. Of course, this machine is a bit more complicated than that, and if you want to know more details, pause now and read. And voila, we have balanced Arcospheres. If I take away all the phis, the system will account for this and balance it all out. Yippee! Now that we had balanced Arcospheres, came Deep Space Science 3, which was easy. All the data cards literally just used Arcospheres. With Deep Space Science 3 automated, Deep Space Science 4 was now available. The very last science pack in the entire game. The end was in sight, and like all the other sciences, it needed 4 different data cards. Wormhole data, easy. Teleportation data, easy. Reality hypergraph analysis data, easy. And interstellar travel data, the hardest data card in the entire game. It's made in a Nexus on a spaceship traveling in interstellar space. The catch? The Nexus runs on several gigawatts. This called for building a new, faster, bigger, more powerful spaceship. Behold, the most powerful ship in the Bean Boys Incorporated fleet. The Chungus. Out in deep space, I wasted no time getting her up to speed and shoving her full of data cards. Each flight could net us a bounty of several thousand interstellar travel data. Enough for several thousand science, which in turn was enough to research the final technology. Oh my god. Last science pack is done. Spaceship Victory. And for our Spaceship Victory, we would need a ship even bigger than the Chungus. 3 layers of shields, 6 reactors, 14 heat exchangers, 8 condenser turbines, circuit logic, the Nexus, and enough engines to reach light speed. Gentlemen, behold the Shitfuck 2. Using the immense power of ballsack reactors, this baby was the most powerful craft ever created. The ship worked, all the systems were functional, it was time to begin that final flight. We flew out of Norvis's gravity well, past the asteroid belts, into deep space, and powered up the Nexus. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That was it.
Hooray!
Hooray! So, that was it. All of space exploration had been No. It couldn't end like this. What about the Stargate, and the pyramids, and all the weird shit? This was the coward's way out. The easy way out. And after 3 years of Factorio space exploration, the easy way out was unacceptable. Gentlemen, I was going to open that portal. But little did I know, this decision would completely break me. With Deep Space Science 4 came the ultimate impersonal transportation, the portal gun. With Nacrium processor in hand, I shoved all the necessary ingredients into the machine and it built a control panel. The control panel wanted 10 gigawatts. So I gave it 10 gigawatts. Activating each of these nodes drew another 10 gigawatts each. So I gave them 10 gigawatts each. 90 gigawatts total. It wanted supercooled thermofluid. I gave it supercooled thermofluid. It wanted dimensional anchors in orbit of 8 stars. I built dimensional anchors, powered them with 60 fucking gigawatts each, and finally, the machine was ready. So I keyed in the symbols, and nothing. All that work, 3 years, 500 hours of Factorio, it was all just set up for the final boss. The Stargate puzzle. The very first thing I noticed was this destroyed spaceship that I somehow missed. Reading through the ship's log, it contained some interesting information. It came from another Stargate, Thyrus, to here, Fonestra. But something went wrong and it exploded. And as it exploded, it jettisoned an escape pod to Norvis. Hey, wait a minute, that's me! I kept reading and found coordinates. These 3 very precise numbers which form a 3-dimensional vector. Graphing this vector looked like this. This vector looked familiar, because when I punched in random symbols and ran the Stargate, it also produced a 3-dimensional vector pointing this way. Reading through the log more carefully, this vector pointed from the Stargate Thyrus to Fonestra. So flipping this vector would point it from this Stargate back to Thyrus. Gentlemen, this was our target. All we had to do was find the right combination of symbols that produced this number. That, however, was easier said than done. I tried a bunch of random dialing to no avail. Each combination produced a totally different vector. Sometimes I get lucky and dial something close, but the target vector was so precise that there was almost no chance of getting it right by accident. It was time for more investigation. Nearly 200 hours ago, we walked into this pyramid on Agni. It contained these symbols, the same ones that were now before me on the Stargate. Checking the planet list, there were 59 more pyramids that I hadn't visited, each with its own symbol, each filled with biters, and each on a different planet. So I built a new ship named The Womb Raider? What the fuck? And searched all 60 pyramids, taking a screenshot of every symbol. Bringing the screenshots into Photoshop, I interrogated them closely and started noticing patterns. In this top big circle, I could treat each symbol like a triangle and fit them together into this, the net of a 3D shape with 60 triangular faces. This shape is called a pentachus dodecahedron, and we had just assigned a symbol to each of its faces. But this didn't really help. More investigation. The bottom circle. These small triangles down here also fit together into a bigger triangle with its top, left, right, and middle missing. And this is where I made another discovery. The Stargate doesn't have 60 symbols on it. It has 64. Placing the missing symbols on the triangle completed it, subdividing into 64 smaller triangles, each with its own symbol.
What? I'm looking at my schizophrenic diagrams, and they're not telling me anything.
Okay, but I still didn't know what this meant. So I kept investigating, and I kept noticing things. It seemed that the direction the resulting vector pointed in was almost entirely determined by what I put in the first node, which gave me an idea. What if that pentachus dodecahedron was this first node, and the next node was our triangle, and the next one a triangle within that triangle, and on until the last node. So I ran some tests. Dialing two symbols that were next to each other on the pentachus dodecahedron produced two vectors that were close together. Then dialing a symbol followed by all the top, then left, and right symbols, when graphed, formed its own triangle. This was it. All I had to do was find where that target vector was pointing in the pentachus dodecahedron, then which mini triangle it points to, then which mini triangle within that mini triangle, until all 8 nodes were dialed. But this presented a new problem. The target vector was precise. Really, really precise. And using this little graphing web app, soon enough, I wouldn't know if we were getting closer or further away. But this is where I had a true stroke of brilliance. Writing some code. But Mart, you don't know how to code. This is true. But I know something that does. With my newly created program, slowly but surely, I found the next symbol, then the next one, and the next one, until finally I had the entire combination. All 8 symbols ready to be dialed, and the game ready to be won. I got the boys on the server one last time, went down to pick up Tristan, and holy fucking shit, Tristan, oh my god! And before I knew it, we were ready. Sponsored by World of Tanks. Hello again. Welcome back, soldier. Today, you're being inducted into my special unit, the Bean Berets. In this induction, I'm going to be showing you some of Battlefield 4's wackiest tactics in tier list form. Some are good, some are bad, some might get you sent to the naughty corner, and some are cursed. What I ask in return for this forbidden knowledge is a promise, a commitment, to go out to your local Battlefield servers, put this training into practice, and share in the chaos with your fellow beans. I want no map unconquered, no server untouched, and I want our slimy, Heinz Beans flavored mark to be left upon the Battlefield 4 community. We start at F tier, move up to S tier, and perhaps go beyond. So, let us begin. First on our list, the so-called long-range sniper. You know this guy. Maybe you are this guy. You are this guy. Aren't you? He sits at the back of the map with his 40 times scope and misses 52 consecutive shots before hitting one guy in the body. I don't care if you think you're God's gift to sniping, nothing useful comes from sitting in the back and doing nothing. So get in there and stop being a backline bitch! F tier. Next, exclusively using the The hell is this? Ah! Wait, what? Money? Sponsor? No. Really? Yo! That's right, boyos. This video is sponsored by World of Tanks. Have you been sitting inside for far too long? Has your aggression been building to the point of enragement? Well, now you can transport yourself back to 1939, screaming across the fields of France in one of 550 different tanks. Destroyers, artillery, little lads, medium lads, and
Chungoids.
infinite possibilities. And did I mention, not only can you zoom and zoom across France, you can also go outside of France. Climb steep hills, sneak through German forest, tear across some desert. Probably not this one. Engage in close quarters urban combat. That's right, there are 40 battle arenas. You may be thinking, 550 tanks. That's a lot of tanks. Sure is. Surely they're lowly detailed and unrealistic. Nope. Historical accuracy is #1 priority in World of Tanks. This means that you could feel like a tank, taking part in a furious armored offensive. Shoot tanks, earn experience, modify your tank, shoot even more tanks. O continues the vicious cycle. Surely with all this content, it costs money, right? Nope. To top it all off, gentlemen, the game is 100% free, with 100 million players worldwide, and for PC. Now that I have your attention, download World of Tanks using the first link in the description. During the registration, use the code TANKMANIA to get a free 7-day premium account, 250,000 credits, the premium tank Excelsior, tier 5, and 3 rental tanks for 10 battles each. Tiger 131, tier 6, Cromwell B, tier 6, and T-3485M, tier 6. Now onto the video. Next, exclusively using the mortar in your team's base, and not anywhere else. Just your base. These people are known in the community as mortards. Easily the most brain-dead tactic on this entire list. You set up your mortar, and click on the orange Doritos on the screen. You don't have to move, you don't have to think. You just click the left mouse button, and are occasionally rewarded with neuron activation. Now sure, mortars can be a kind of useful gadget for getting people to move off of a rooftop or building, but we're a mortard, so we don't do that. We set up at the back of the map and kill 3 guys in a 40-minute game. F tier. Next up, the DS3 decoy, probably the most useless gadget in the entire game. When thrown, it shows the enemy team a little orange Dorito on the map as if it was one of your teammates. This is a fairly decent concept, and maybe you could use it to lure some unsuspecting enemies into your trap. But in practice, it just doesn't fucking work. It takes up a slot that could be used for any other gadget and is more or less completely useless. Excellent. F tier. Go away. Lastly, we have AT mines. What? AT mines? I love AT mines. I use them all the time. Who said that? God, these things suck. Sure, you might get 1, maybe 2 kills with them, but most of the time the tank will see them, and you'll have wasted your time. Hooray. In trying to get some footage with these things, I got a massive 1 kill. This was after placing the mines directly in front of the enemy spawn, which made me feel like a very slimy AT mine user. Ugh. In order to use AT mines, you need to sacrifice either a rocket launcher or your repair tool, each of which is far more useful. F tier. Shit gadget. Moving on to D tier, we begin with AA mines. Now I know what you're thinking. Aren't AA mines just Sky AT mines? No. Now you only get 1 AA mine, as opposed to 6 AT, and I've gotten a good fat 0 kills with it. But, they're pretty good for a maneuver I like to call the whack and smack. If a helicopter is getting a little too cozy, you throw the AA mine down and whip out your rocket launcher. The AA mine immediately launches a rocket, hits the helicopter for 40 damage, and kills its mobility for a few seconds. In this golden window of opportunity, you then press mouse 1, and hit him with the... Fuck. I said, hit him with the... Oh, come on. I said, hit him with the... Yeah! And then, you hit him with the... So it's not useless, but it's also not great. D tier. The mortar. Now that our brain has grown beyond the spinal column, we're able to move around the map, and then use the mortar. Very advanced, I know. It's a pretty good tool for removing people from rooftops, but other than that, it's still a bit useless. And most importantly, boring. The mobile artillery also falls into this category, but now we can shoot at the orange tank. It's still pretty boring though. D tier. Moving on, we have the airburst and 40mm LVG. These weapons are in the same vein as the mortar, in that they require very little brain activation to use. Simply find a choke point on a close quarters map, and click your left mouse button. D tier. Next up, the solution to everyone's disappointing affinity to getting killed by bullets. The ballistic shield. This bad boy can block all incoming fire when equipped. Unfortunately, that's about it. Now sure, it does have some uses. For instance, going up elevators that are held by enemies. In this clip, this fucking legend peeked around the corner with his shield, managed to distract me with shooting his feet for just a second, went full Marty Robbins on me. You can also smack people with it. D tier. For the last item in D tier, we have claymores and slams. Now I know slams are pretty much the same as AT mines, but really they're better. You can put them on walls, you can put them on vehicles, you can throw them horizontally, and be generally more creative. Sure, they do a bit less damage, but they're a little better in all other situations. Claymores are pretty shit, but they're very useful for annoying high-level players. Simply put one in a dark corner of a room, and that's basically a free kill. D tier. Here in C tier, the tactics get a bit spicier, and also become fun. Truly an alien concept to most Battlefield players. Starting us off, we have road killing. Pretty self-explanatory. Run your vehicle into an enemy's soft, squishy, meat-packed body, and they die. Now this is not the most effective tactic, but it's very fun. Now of course, you're vulnerable when going for road kills. When players see a fast-moving quad bike hurtling towards them, they don't see danger, they see a free kill. So, you must be stealthy, and attack from where they least expect. C tier. Next on the list, the various types of grenade launchers in the game. We got the 40mm and the 40mm 3GL. These are both a little better than the bouncy as fuck LVG of D tier, but only by a little. The difference between these two is the 40mm goes while the 3GL goes. Now of course, the 3GL does less damage per shot, but the sound entirely makes up for it. Excellent. C tier. Levolutions, or level evolutions. Wow. When this game first came out, much of the advertising showed huge buildings falling over, dams collapsing, chimneys toppling down, the Arecibo Observatory undergoing catastrophic failure. Huh. Well, it's still just as cool today. Each map in the game has some main destructible event that changes how it's played. On Siege of Shanghai, the massive tower in the middle of the map collapses. On Langkang Dam, the dam can be destroyed. On Hainan Resort, the sides of this building can collapse. And on Caspian Border, this big boy tower can be destroyed. Now, this all sounds great, and the animations are still incredible all these years later, but most of the time, kinda ruins the map. Especially on Siege of Shanghai. That being said, C tier. Still pretty cool. Now generally, in Battlefield 4, you shoot people with guns, but for this tactic, we're ditching all ranged weapons in favor of stabbing people in the neck with our knife. Without knowing what you're doing, going knife only tends to suck. But if you employ the Batman strategy, you may find more success. Batman stands for big, angry, testosterone-fueled man attacking at night. Very scary, no doubt. I found the most success on the map Dawnbreaker, where you can place spawn beakers high up on skyscrapers and repeatedly drop down to stealthily attack people's necks. Bonus points if you also use the Phantom Bow to become a full ninja. C tier. Speaking of the Phantom Bow, we have using shit weapons. As it turns out, running around the battlefield like some 14th century longbowman is not conducive to long-term success, which is a fancy way of saying that 90% of the time, you'll eat shit. But that 10%, oh boy, does it feel good. Killing someone with the bow is a very persuasive, I am better than you kind of statement. To really go for gold, you can equip the bow as your primary, and the mare's leg as a secondary. A really, really shit lever action rifle. Once you get 90 kills with the mare's leg, you even get the 40x scope. Yep, the 40x scope. What an incredible piece of technology. Sure, deliberately handicapping yourself with bad guns doesn't sound great, but trust me, it's a lot more fun than these things down here, and it's more fun than just using this. C tier. Next on our lovely list, the Suave. The Suave is a paper airplane that can be thrown and steered around to find enemy players. Its main purpose is to spot people and laser designate vehicles. But really, we all know that using it as a battering ram and plunging it deep into the hearts of your enemies is its real purpose. Unfortunately, you can only kill one guy per Suave, so it's not the most effective, but definitely very fun. C tier. Passive radar missiles. These aren't very fun, but they are actually decent. There are three types of anti-air missiles in the game. Heat Seekers, Active Radar, and Passive Radar. Heat Seekers need to lock on before they can be fired, which gives the enemy aircraft a lot of warning before you shoot. Active radar missiles can be fired without locking on and immediately track. They're better and give the enemy much less time to react, but are still not a guaranteed hit. Then there's passive radar missiles, the best of both worlds. You can shoot them before you lock someone, let the missiles gain heaps of speed, and then lock your target. It may seem like we're giving the enemy some time to react, but quite often they have literally no time because of lag compensation and are a guaranteed hit. Wonderful. Only drawback is that the weapons that the passive radar missiles replace are usually much better. Unless they're heat seekers. C tier. Speaking of aircraft, does anyone actually know how to use these things? Of course not. It's not like they're the most powerful vehicles in the game or anything. That would be ridiculous. Real gamers do not use jets as intended by the developers. Real gamers do not use the munitions on the jet, but use the jet as a munition. You take your jet, find some unfortunate tank somewhere on the map, and roleplay as a GBU-12 500-pound aerial laser-guided bomb. Incredible. C tier. Last of C tier, we have by far the most powerful vehicle in the game. The skid loader. This bad boy can fit one guy in the cabin, one guy on the back, and one brave, courageous, heroic soldier in the bucket. It dies in one hit to basically anything. It's slow as shit, but by God, is it fun.
Got him.
So get out, you're gonna die.
No, it's okay. It was not okay.
C tier.
You don't scare me!
In B tier, the tactics get a bit better, and the game gets more fun. For our first item in B tier, we drive around in a car, doing drive-bys on the local pedestrians. Works better with a friend, but friends are not necessary. That's what I tell myself anyway. All you need is a buggy. You can roadkill people, shoot people with the gun on top, run away from tanks while making monkey noises. Oh, there's a tank right on the right. A whole world of possibilities opens when you choose the buggy lifestyle. B tier. Flashbangs. Simple and effective. Fling a flashbang, or 12, into a small opening and charge in after it pops. With some luck, the enemies will be blind and you can shoot them in the head. You can also stick them into a 40mm grenade launcher and blind people at least 40 meters away. Solid. B tier. Hey, you guys hear that? Uh-oh. Oh shit! Ah, get down! Anyway, that's right lads, we're taking it back to 1960s Vietnam. The transport helicopter. Get some friends, get in the chopper, and get on the guns. These things are pretty fucked. You can kill helicopters and jets pretty quick. Infantry will simply melt when shot at with 6,000 rounds per minute, and even some light armored vehicles can be destroyed. A very underutilized vehicle for tearing shit up. B tier. Now, let's take the brain cells we've been developing and throw them all in the bin. The AC-130. This time, however, it's incredibly strong. The primary gun on the plane is the same as a tank cannon, but unlike most tanks, it can fly. Enemy land vehicles are just kind of fucked until you're dealt with. Not to mention, there are 2 other guns. Not a super exciting way of playing the game, but definitely pretty effective. B tier. Hardcore. The game mode. Hardcore has this following of people who seem to think that it takes way more skill than regular Battlefield, and it's so much more realistic. Shut the fuck up! God, all these people just all just non-stop whinging, complaining. Oh, it's not realistic. Shut up! Hardcore lowers your HP from 100 to 60. Not a huge change, but it completely destroys all of the carefully adjusted weapon balance, and results in whoever clicks first wins. Amazing. It's also not a realistic game, and nor is Hardcore. Sure, it can be a little more difficult, and you may get team killed every now and then, but that's not why you play Hardcore. You play Hardcore to abuse the fucked weapons. Sniper rifles, which now one hit anywhere in the body, and explosives of any sort are stupidly strong. The only populated Hardcore server in the OCE region doesn't allow shotguns, so you'll have to use your imagination for these clips, but they're basically snipers that can't miss. Quite fun. B tier. For the final item in B tier, we have all the battle pickups. If you see this icon on the map, it means there is a strong gun sitting there waiting for you to use it. Battle pickups come in all shapes and sizes. There's the USAS-12 with frag rounds, the AMR-2 sniper that one-hits guys anywhere you hit them, the M32 grenade launcher with 6 40mm grenades, the M136 rocket launcher that can do a ridiculous 80 damage to a tank. There's this little drone called the Roar, and this flying fuck called the XD-1, and of course, the coolest weapon in the game, the railgun. Pretty cool. B tier. Moving up to A tier, the UCAV, or UCAV for short. A small drone that's launched from a tube and flies at very fast speeds. It's a lot like the Swab for the Recon, but it flies much faster and packs a very powerful explosive warhead. I understand, I may take some flack for loving this thing, as it's pretty much just non-stop free kills, but it's pretty much just non-stop free kills. Oh my god! For infantry out in the open, it's unavoidable instant death. Does a guaranteed 20 damage against tanks, even through APS. You can kill the pilot out of helicopters with some consistency. Takes a bit of getting used to the controls, but very fun once you do. Very good. A tier. Rockets. Aren't they cool? You got your RPGs, s'mores, MBT lords, lots of options for blowing shit up. However, we have a problem. One rocket will do around 30 damage to a tank on a good hit, which means you need 4 rockets to kill it. So, get yourself some friends and pick out your large explosive shooter of choice. Not good for enemy tanks, which is precisely who you'll be fighting. Bada bing. Bada boom. Pro tip. Find an M136 rocket launcher on the map and use it. Quickly switch to your other launcher and then use that. Big results. Big. A tier. For our next item, we remove our left hand from the game and play on the stationary weapons. There are a few types of stationary weapons, but the main ones are the 50 cal and the tow launcher. Can you guess which is better? Yeah, the 50 cal sucks. But the tow launcher, oh boy. This bad boy shoots a steerable missile that hits very hard. Holy shit. And it destroys helis in one hit. A tier. In the same vein as the utter humiliation in dying to a tow missile, we have strapping up your Jeep with an obscene number of explosives, cranking up the ISIS music to full volume, revving the engine.
Get the elevator!
Yes! The great and noble C4 soldier. You must be sneaky, drive in from the lanes they least expect, and attack at the perfect moment. Guaranteed to generate huge lakes of salty tank drivers. Fuck off with gay C4 car pussy. A tier. MRAPs, or mine-resistant, ambush-protected vehicles. The mine-resistant part is a complete lie, by the way. These bad boys are light, fast vehicles with a big old 50 mounted on top. Great for you and a friend to drive around and shoot. And drive around a bit more, and shoot more. And drive a bit more, and shoot a bit more. Etc. These things are really fast, so if you see a big boy, run. A tier. Very similar to passive radar missiles, we have the Igla. This guy is a lot like the passive radar missiles, but is carried by dudes on the ground. This means, given enough teammates, you can have as many Iglas as you want. Much like the passive radar missiles, you don't shoot at the target you intend to hit first. Instead, you shoot at something else, let the missile gain lots of speed, and then lock on and hit your intended target. Nice. A tier. Speaking of shooting things with friends, we have getting yourself a squad, going to the back of the map, and causing trouble. Which means capturing their points. Specifically, the gimmies, or the ones next to their base. Of course, you need friends to do this. In this game, my friends and I went to Foxtrot on Zavod 311. Placed mines all over the place, and generally caused lots of problems for the enemy team. If you want to win the game, this is a legit strategy to do so. A tier. Yeah, smoke grenades. These bad boys explode, put out a big cloud of smoke and obscure vision. That's all they do. D tier. Nah, just kidding. These things are extremely useful for pushing through tight choke points. Simply chuck some smoke at the end of the choke, run through and... Ah, fuck. Okay, this time. Throw the smokes, run in, and... I said, throw the smokes, run in, and... There we go. A tier. Instead of obscuring vision, this attachment obscures sound. That's right, the suppressor. No longer will you broadcast your location loudly and clearly to the entire enemy team. This guy makes your gun much quieter, which means it doesn't show up on the minimap when you shoot. So what, you may be thinking? Well, believe it or not, most players actively use the minimap to find enemies. Shocking, I know. Taking yourself off the minimap is very good for sneaking around and being naughty. A tier. Up next, the Rib. Rigid hull, inflatable boat. This thing is fast and has 4 seats for you and your buds. But most importantly, it has this thing, which is capable of shooting at a blistering 6,000 rounds per minute. This boat is pretty much the water version of the transport helicopter, with less protective shielding and 1 less minigun. Basically, this thing is a real man's vehicle. Miss your shots, and you die. Carelessly drive into enemy territory, and you die. But, position yourself correctly, time the enemy movements, and strike with power and ferocity, and you will certainly find great success. A tier. Moving a bit down the scale of destruction, we have the EOD bot, or Angry Warrior. This thing is the most chaotic gadget in the entire game. His intended purpose is to go around and repair friendly vehicles and arm MCOM objectives with its repair tool. However, this purpose is limiting and boring. The EOD bot is much better suited as a means of slowly and painfully blowtorching the kneecaps of your enemies. In one round of using this thing, I managed to get over 50 kills. Now, this only really works in close quarters maps like Lockers and Metro, but that's alright. Set yourself up next to a friendly ammo box and send a non-stop stream of explosive resistant, kneecap burning robots down the hall to your enemies. A tier. For our final item of A tier, we have light vehicles as a means of transportation. That's right. I thought for this item, we'll keep it simple and fun. Just driving around in your quad bike, without a care in the uh-oh. Jets? No. Bad. Far too easy. Helicopters? Absolutely not. Terrible.
Cringe.
Quad bikes? Now that's the stuff. Explosives in this game exert force on friendly vehicles when they're detonated. Given enough explosives, magical things can happen. Way over! Dude, I'm on A! Holy shit! You hit the roof! No way!
I'm on the roof.
Phenomenal. A tier. I know. We're 23 minutes into a Battlefield 4 video, and I've made no mention of the big ones. The units. The hefty fellas. The
Jungus.
vehicles. Not the transport helis or MRAPs, but the real big lads. Tanks, LAVs, mobile anti-air, scout helicopters, attack boats, stealth jets, and attack jets. The big boys. Each of these vehicles has the capacity to completely turn the game. They each have powerful weapons, thick armor, or high mobility. In the community, the players that only seem to ever be inside vehicles are affectionately referred to as vehicle whores. I will admit to being a bit of a vehicle whore myself, but what can I say? It is pretty fun. I will now briefly explain all the vehicles. Scout helicopter. Minigun go. Shoot ants with minigun. Shoot tank with rocket. Run away when feeling scared. Attack boat. Use burst cannon. Kill ants. Use TV missile. Kill jet. And also... boat. Annoy jet. Jet come for you now. Die. Anti-air tank. Remove frontal lobe. Sit in spawn. Shoot at passing jet. Get no kills. Realize you are failure. Get bored. Run into battle. Turn infantry into Heinz tomato ketchup. See tank. Scream. Die. LAV. Use gun and go. Kill ants. Use tow missile. Kill helicopter. See tanks. Run away fast. Tank can't get you. See helicopter. Run away fast. Uh-oh. Tank. Big gun, go. Find LAV. Shoot LAV. Find tank. Shoot tank. Find ants. Shoot ants. See jet. Run away. Can't run away fast. Die. Attack jet. Big gun, go. Find tank. Pop tank. Drop bomb on tank. Find boat. Pop boat. Find helicopter. Pop helicopter. Find ant. More difficult to find. Drop bomb on ant. See stealth jet.
No.
Run away. Stealth jet too fast. Die. Attack helicopter pilot. Find ants. Sit still and let gunner shoot them. Find tanks. Destroy tanks. See helicopters. Destroy helicopters. See jet. Run. Die. Attack helicopter gunner. Click on white spots on screen. Rack up 200 kill streak. Shoot TV missile. Kill helicopter. Shoot TV missile. Miss. Die. Stealth jet. Find ants with laser guided missile. Shoot ants with 25mm cannon. Ants get angry. See stealth jet. Engage in 12-minute dogfight. Kill enemy jet. Annoy tanks with rocket. Annoy boats with rocket. Kill helicopters. Kill ants. You do not die. Stealth jet OP. S tier. Clear. Good job, Tim. Yep, that's right. The defibrillator. Quite the impressive piece of technology. Shot repeatedly and now dying on the floor? Defib. Several bullets have passed directly through your heart. Defib. The sniper has unfortunately delivered a 50 BMG round right into your nose. Defib. An LAV has sent 4 armor-piercing, fin-stabilized, discarding Saber warheads through your head. That's right. Defib. A tank has fired a high-explosive shell directly into your chest. The resulting explosion has separated not only your limbs from your body, but the skin, muscles, and bones from said limbs. You do not lie dead. Worse, you are a mere puddle. Your existence instantly wiped out. The horror of this event no doubt replaying in the minds of everyone unlucky enough to bear witness. You guessed it. Defib. The defibrillator is, as you can imagine, quite a powerful gadget. So get yourself a squad and have them all use it. When one dies, run over and revive him. Bonus points if you all use the Combat Medic perk, which can double the speed of a full revive. S tier. Next, we've got the equivalent of shining a red laser around a cat. The Laser Designator. Or, the Acquire and Fire. Laze and Blaze. Lock and cock. The Recon class has several gadgets that are capable of laser designating vehicles. Once a vehicle is laser designated, it can be locked onto by certain rocket launchers and vehicle weapons. The resulting hit will deal way more damage, all the while being able to fire out of line of sight and not having to hold on to the lock. Also works against jets. Get your buddy to play Recon and laze everything he sees. You then play as an engineer with the Javelin and anti-tank perk. He locks, you cock. Pretty simple. S tier. Now, what guns do you think are best? Well, that's a bit of an impossible question to answer, so let's narrow it down. What guns are the best on Operation Locker? Maybe the Ace-23 assault rifle. High rate of fire, 35 bullets, good range? No. How about the SKS? Fast-firing DMR, kills in 3 shots, has very good range. No. Maybe the AEK-971, the sweaty tryhard's weapon of choice. Very high rate of fire, high damage, very little recoil and spread. No. The Scar-H, hard-hitting? No. The FAMAS? No. All these weapons pale in comparison to the true dominators of close-quarters battle. The shotguns. Why bother shooting a guy 3, 4, even 5 times when one will do? Instead of shooting a continuous stream of 10 bullets, why not condense that into a single spray of lead pellets? Shotguns. If all you need is one shot, you can beat anyone, given you shoot fast. My favorites of the shotgun genre would be the Spas 12, 870 MCS, and Saiga 12K. Want a bit more range? Use flechette rounds. Want a DMR in shotgun form? Slug rounds are the way to go. Or maybe, you just want to blow shit up. Frag rounds. The 40mm grenade launchers also come with buckshot variants that can one-shot guys at an incredibly stupid range. But wait, there's more! Shotguns are also very good at annoying people. Very fun. S tier. Next in our list, a very basic mechanic of Battlefield 4. Spotting people. Oh my god, why doesn't everyone spot? I will now demonstrate how to spot an enemy in Battlefield 4. Incredible. This will place the enemy's exact position on the minimap and also puts a big, fat, orange, or some other color, Dorito over their head for a few seconds. It's basic, fundamental even, but spotting is incredibly important. So do it, please! S tier. So, we've learned that the stationary tow missile is very effective. Well, what if we took the exact same thing and stuck it onto a boat or LAV? Great things, no doubt. The tow missile on vehicles retains its incredible power and then adds to it by allowing the launcher to move. Wow. In a similar vein to tow missiles, we have TV missiles. These guys are available for the attack boat and attack helicopter. They're technically available in the attack jet, but don't. Just don't. The TV missile is a missile that you control with the mouse. A good way to think about it is that you become the missile. And in more ways than one. S tier. So, you've taken my advice and are now exclusively using vehicles. The map Parasol Storm comes on. You hop in your boat, equip the TV missile, and look for trouble. But, before you even see an enemy, you've been hit by an enemy TV missile. This just won't do. Well, remember that I said when you shoot a TV missile, you become the TV missile. This is true in more ways than one. As it turns out, this game was never completely polished. So when you shoot a TV missile, you literally do become the missile. Your soul is transferred from human being driving a boat into this small piece of metal hurtling across the sky. This means that somehow, you can shoot at a TV missile, and it'll do damage to the driver of the boat. Armed with this knowledge, it's still really hard to actually pull it off and kill a boat pilot, but it can be done. Yeah. Dumb, broken, overpowered, S tier. Remember how much I like spotting? Well, this gadget is made exclusively for spotting enemies. The MAV. This little guy has a thermal camera and is able to fly. It's effectively a way of getting valuable information without any real risk. You can then perform the complex maneuver of mashing the shit out of the Q key and revealing everyone on the map. You then get off the MAV, glue your eyes to the minimap, and shoot guys advancing on you. A very useful gadget for almost any situation. It can also destroy equipment, like radio beacons, tugs, mortars, even explosives. S tier. In Battlefield, there is usually a spread of good maps and not so good maps. Sure, they aren't bad, but can be pretty frustrating. However, these maps usually possess some fun or interesting spots to go to. For example, on the map Rogue Transmission, if the boys and I are having a shit game, we'll get in the transport helicopter and fly up to the radio telescope. Or, as we call it, the Rogue Transmission. These fun spots tend to be high up and relatively safe. You can also try using explosives to launch vehicles on top of places. This is more difficult, but very fun. Other good spots include the skyscrapers on Dawnbreaker and the big boy in Siege of Shanghai. Anywhere where you can jump down and ruin someone's day from. S tier. The Party Lab. Yet again, you need some buddies. Get everyone to hop in the LAV, which can seat a pretty solid 6 sweaty men. 2 of them deal the damage, those being the driver and gunner, while the other 4 should be responsible for repairing the vehicle and shooting rockets at bad guys. You can even combine this with the laser designator by getting the gunner to equip gunner SOFLAM. You can then laze an enemy vehicle and have all your boys hop out and shoot a rocket at it. This is guaranteed to ruin someone's day. S tier. Speaking of ruining people's day, the UCAV has returned yet again. This time, however, we need 5 brave and noble UCAV-wielding soldiers. You can see in the UCAV spam tactic, I noted that it does 20 damage when it hits into a tank or other heavy vehicle. Well, the observant among you may have done some simple arithmetic and divided 100, the total health of the vehicle, by 20, the damage of the UCAV, and came to 5, which is the number of UCAVs necessary to take a tank from 100 HP to 0. So I did exactly this. Got 5 boys together, unlocked the UCAV slowly and painfully with all of them, and then began the day ruining on a truly monumental scale.
Oh my god, this is actually really cool.
2, 1, go. There's the boat. I see it. It's on the other side of sea. Oh, that's 1 hit, 2 hit, 3 hit, 4 hit, 5 hit. S tier. So that's our conventional unit, but sometimes warfare calls for unconventional tactics. These following tactics are the unconventional tactics among unconventional tactics. They are the least expected, and as such, may get you removed from the server. Perhaps permanently. First, we have using the MAV to kill people. Remember how I said that it can destroy explosives? Well, these explosives do damage to enemies. Pretty neat, but this is in fact an intended tactic. What is not intended is getting a friend on the enemy team to exclusively plant explosives around its teammates' feet. Incredible. Tier. Look at these fucks. Think they're better than us? Little do they know, the battlefield soldier is also capable of great mountain climbing feats. Only on Operation Locker though. Between C and D, you can jump into the red zone here to sneak past people. Between D and E is a spot that you can reach by jumping here, then climbing around the side, then running up this slope. This part has lots of invisible skyboxes that go all the way around to D. This is far from an exhaustive list, so experiment, and find yourself some even more interesting spots. Here. Next up, this one won't get you banned, but it is very unconventional, and pretty fun. A selection of the small Easter eggs on some of the maps. I plan to go into detail on the Phantom Assignment Easter eggs, but they're way too long, so you'll have to look into them yourself. For Parasol Storm, we have the Megalodon. The Megalodon Easter egg is fairly simple to pull off. First, get yourself up to the windmill with the burning destroyer next to it. Stay there until the storm blows in, and you get smited by God himself. Then, go to one of these 2 islands near the E point. On both are these trees with parrots on them. Walk onto the tree, and wait about a minute. After waiting, a light will appear in the water.
Oh, there it is!
Shoot it, and watch.
Holy shit, watch this, watch this.
Where does it come from? What is that?
This is here. Maybe you shoot it again. Oh, 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 look, look, look! Oh! It just shot into the water.
Holy shit! Oh, there it is, you're after it. Oh my god!
Pretty cool. On Hainan Resort, you can go to the top of the main building, get the AMR-2 battle picker, jump onto this air conditioner or whatever it is, prone in exactly this spot, aim towards the broken container ship, and shoot the light that appears. Neat. On the map Operation Whiteout, near Sea Point, there are a bunch of icicles that you can pick up and use as a knife. It took me quite a while to get this footage, so please, appreciate the reaction.
Yeah!
And then this happened.
No!
And finally, the Gulmud Railway Yeti. Very easy. Go to this rock here with a rocket launcher, find the bright light, shoot it, and... yeah. Incredible. Tier. Remember the skid loader from all the way back in C tier? Well, it's actually kinda busted. If you get on the back and aim down your sights, you're inexplicably given a literal wall hack. I don't know how, I don't know why, but it works. Seriously, look at this shit. It's incredible. Tier. And for our final tactic, the most fucked one. This one has no real counter, and is completely broken. However, it will certainly get you banned, so use at your own discretion. There's a section of wall that can be clipped through up near the E flag. Playing as Recon with the MAV, jump on these boxes and place the MAV inside this section of wall. It's really finicky and hard to get right. Once it's down, jump onto the MAV, prone, and slide into the wall. Congratulations, you're now on the ceiling. Fly a MAV through where you just slid and pick it up. Jump on this corner and run across the ceiling to this little outcropping of ice. Place your MAV once again in this little spot, climb up and slide through the small opening. Finally, you're here. You can place your spawn beacon. Now what's so special about this spot, you may be wondering? Well, we're behind a wall. Better yet, you can see and even shoot out of this wall, but no one can see in or shoot in. Like I said, this one's fucked. Use at your own discretion. Dear. So there we have it, lads. All the wacky shit I could think of. As many of you know, Battlefield 6 seems to be in the works. Once it's out, I'm gonna stream it. And if the game is any good, probably make a video. So stay tuned, gents. Again, thank you to World of Tanks. Good evening. In this video, we fly to space in Factorio. That's right, boyos, we've installed the Space Exploration mod, which allows us to build a rocket, strap in, and launch ourselves into the great beyond, to explore, expand, and conquer. Gentlemen, our subjugation will be vast, and our profits will be vaster. For us to win, we don't just launch a single satellite like vanilla Factorio. No, disgusting, far too easy. Cringe. To win, we must build an interstellar spaceship and fly it at the speed of light. Will we achieve this lofty goal? Will we
synergistically motivate client-oriented initiatives?
Will we be overrun by the hordes of angry environmentalists, or will our gross incompetence cost us everything? Joining us on this journey are my employees, Ben and Tristan. So, let us begin. Day 1. Our journey began right here, which is precisely where our little spaceship had crash landed. In the distance, with ease. From here, it was up to us and our entrepreneurial spirit. So, we began work. We built some drills to mine ore, furnaces to smelt the ore into plates, and plates into more drills to mine more ore into more plates. The factory had begun. We then drilled some copper, coal, and stone, built some power infrastructure, and before we knew it, Red Science had been fully automated. Next,
Expansion.
copper mining, expanded. Copper smelting,
Expanded.
iron smelting.
Expanded.
Main bus, built. Bus. Green science, automated. Red science.
Expanded.
Dragon City, installed on your phone for free. Gentlemen, do you like dragons? Do you like cities? You're not gonna believe this, boys, but this video is sponsored by Dragon City, a free-to-play RPG PvP Dragon Collection game available for iOS, Android, Windows Phone, and Jeff. Collect yourself over 1,000 different dragons. Each and every dragon will flood your brain with dopamine and make you truly feel alive. Look at this one, look at this one, look at this one. Dragon, 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 dragon. That's a lot of dragons, guys. Breed your dragon, lay an egg, hatch that son, and feed him, feed him, feed him, feed him, feed him. Look at him. He is your son. Train him. Put him through the ringer in Dragon Basic Training by smacking this little wood. Fight him against other dragons. Place him into a legal PvP cockfighting ring and claim ultimate victory. Still unconvinced? If you don't download this game, you will regret it. There are several events each week and a battle pass for truly unlimited, intense gaming. I still don't think you are convinced. You better download this game. I am living in your walls. Look at these YouTubers. My favorite Minecrafters. Mr. Yeast. George is still unable to be located. And Dreer. Wow. There he is. My favorite YouTuber. Dreer in Dragon form. If you download the game from the link in the description, I might get enough bargaining power to convince the devs to add a frog. So download it with the link in the description and get a free reward of 15,000 food, 30,000 gold, and some very rare space being dragon that isn't a frog, but it's okay, maybe I'll get there one day, that'll be all I want is frog, please! What are you waiting for, boys? If it's good enough for Dreer, it's good enough for you. So download it. I'm waiting. Add over. Research completed. We had researched the Belt Balancer from the mod Belt Balancers. A cool little gadget that would cause us no problems whatsoever in our future. In Vanilla Factorio, if I want these 8 belts to go into 7 belts equally, I need to build this. Horrible. But with belt balancers, all we need to build is this. Wonderful. Following this, we had our very first complaint from the local environmentalists. So we murdered them on the spot. These small bean-shaped attackers weren't yet an issue, and like any good corporation, we swept the problem under the rug and pretended it didn't happen. To absolutely no one's surprise, this didn't work. Our factory fart cloud had reached them, and they weren't going to stop. Oh look, new research. Waterfill. If landfill lets you fill in water with land, waterfill lets you fill in land with water. It's very useful, and has no exploits whatsoever. The protesters were back, and in bigger numbers. Tristan and I ran out of the building we were working in, and violently apprehended the suspects. Gentlemen, the problem was growing. We had 3 options, all of which involved violence. We could do nothing and get repeatedly mauled to death by the increasingly stronger biters. We could hunker down more and construct turrets and walls to defend our assets, or we could take the fight to them with our new weaponry. We chose option 3. To help us, Ben contacted our local arms dealers and bought an army of chain guns, which have big tracks, autonomous driving, and, water cannons for dispersing crowds. So we sent them in and dispersed some crowds. Day 2. Things were going great. The factory was growing. The environmentalist menace had been kept at bay, and we were starting to use words like disseminate and synergy. While Tristan and I had been expanding the military science, Ben had been busying himself with learning trains, an obsession that would lead to some truly beautiful things. To build the train network, we'd need lots of clear space, so Ben set to work waterfilling the nearby cliffs when he waterfilled under his feet and was instantly killed.
Ah, fuck!
Things had been peaceful for a while. Too peaceful. As Ben was finishing up his squeaky clean environmental coal mine, he was jumped by a large group of biters making horrible demands for higher wages and equal pay. I ran up to assist and was promptly mauled to death by the angry mob. Twice.
I just killed me again! Fuck!
I called Tristan over to help in the crowd dispersing and built a car.
How do you shoot?
Oi! We linked up with Ben in the north with a small army of chain gunners and sent the boys in to deliver retaliatory lawsuits in enormous volume. Once the dust on the battle had settled, it was obvious that the biters were in complete financial ruin. But they would be back. What we needed to do was build a wall. With our selection of mods, there were many options to choose from. Stone walls, concrete walls, spiked walls, but really, these all suck. Instead, we can build a tiny moat out of water fill, and it'll create a totally impervious barrier. So, Tristan made a bunch of water fill, and sectioned off the north end for good. After the wall had been built, the attacks cooled down for a while, allowing us to expand our business to the next great frontier, the water. After a little boat stuff, Tristan and I experimented with our latest innovative innovation, supersonic trains. As you can probably guess, these are trains that can travel really, really fast. If you got anxious crossing train tracks with these pathetic 300km/h trains, they get ready to be flattened so fast that the train only appears on your screen for 1 frame. These trains would not only give our network speed and efficiency, but also an element of extreme danger. I was almost... While I'd been upgrading the trains, Tristan had been driving his boat. And driving his boat. And driving his boat.
No! I might die. Drive! No! I died. I'm dead. I'm dead.
No. Tristan's death at sea had ripped a sense of purpose away from him. He became a shell of the former man we all knew, and repeatedly tried to run me down in a hit and run with his car.
God damn it!
Poor guy. The factory was growing, and the biters didn't like it. For the next hour, we were subjected to non-stop raids by increasingly violent environmentalists. What we needed to do was go on the attack. Ben had been building a squad of flame tumblers, high-speed cars armed with flamethrowers. He sent them in, only to realize that some of the biters were immune to fire damage. Oh wait, what? There's a biter that's invincible. It doesn't take fire damage. Fuck! And they all died. Shit. Unfortunately for us, we couldn't just water fill them off now, because that would cut off lots of valuable resources. First, we needed to push them back, and then water fill. Ben had built himself a flame tumbler, and was zooming around the battlefield at breakneck speeds. He went so fast, in fact, that he drove straight into a rock, got stuck, and died. We recovered Ben's body, brought out the water fill, and sealed off the southern flank to the base. Next, the west. The biggest chain gunner army yet had been purchased from our friends at Lockheed Mart. We took this army and sent them all to the southwest flank. Justice was swift, and the resources were claimed. We finished up the wall and sealed ourselves away from the outside world. The war was over, and the factory building could continue on a much larger scale. Day 3. I suggested to Tristan a devilish plan.
We can water fill those,
We can water fill under Ben?
Oh, do you want to go do that?
I think that'd be too mean.
I want to go do that.
He would go up to Ben and water fill under his feet. I was doing some more boat stuff when another alert came over the radios. Somehow, the biters had snuck into the factory once again. What, how the fuck? I drove over in my flame tumbler and burnt those little shits to death. The next question on my mind was, how? Clearly, the wall wasn't enough. I took another quick tour of our beautiful moat and discovered literally thousands of bugs in very close proximity. If I got close enough to them, I could even hear them say horrible things like, tax the rich. Ugh. Clearly, what we needed was to expand the gap. This meant expanding water fill production, so I built a rudimentary water fill factory, collected a bunch of water fill, and began widening the moat when this happened. Oh, no. I collected my stuff and finished the moat widening, but still unsurprisingly, felt very much in danger. I could tickle the nests all I wanted with my shitty sniper rifle, but really, I'd need some more firepower. So naturally, I forgot about it, and did some more boat stuff. Then, we made some basic construction bodders, built some train stuff, made use of balancer parts, got flattened by a train, did some more boat stuff, and finally, after 2.5 hours, the biters were back in our base. What? Wait. There's fucking biters in our base. This time, somehow, they managed to make a nest right smack in the middle of our territory. How rude. We got rid of that nest, but this nest wasn't the issue. The fact that they could just appear in our base, now that was the issue. It was time to develop a new weapon. A weapon more powerful than anything we had tried before. We knew that water fill could kill. Tristan had used it recently to brutally murder Ben in cold blood. So could it work against our environmentalist friends? Fuck you, come here. Come here, big boys, come here. Yes. Yes, it could. It could even destroy their nests. And hence, a new meme was born. Fuck you, water fills your house. This strategy used a lot of water fill. Alright, fuck you, water filling your house. So Ben set to work optimizing the line for full-scale wartime production. While Ben was doing that, Tristan joined again, hopped in a flame tumbler, and repeatedly drove it at high speed into our own buildings. Thank you, Tristan. Once Ben had finished the monstrous waterfall facility, we met there to discuss our game plan. And to waterfall Tristan.
You just pick it up out of, just pick it up out of the thing.
Our current strategy was primitive. Once an area had been water-filled, it was impossible for the biters, but also impossible for us. This problem was solved by Ben with a very simple solution. Getting into the water with a boat.
Fuck you, waterfield. Fuck you, waterfield. Fuck you, waterfield. Fuck you, waterfield.
We water-filled so much area that we completely separated our base and had constructed an island. Safety had finally been achieved. Day 4 of our recording binge began with this ominous message. In 24 hours, the sun would do a little trolling. Ben was still at it, water-filling houses, and has successfully sectioned off an entire gigantic island in the north that contained lots and lots of resources. He then went to work trying to clear out the island and got mauled to death once again.
Oh shit, I'm dead.
Meanwhile, I began automating yellow science, the last type of science pack before we had to launch anything to space. 2 hours later, I managed to hook everything up to the building, and at a slow but steady stream of piss science. Holy shit. I'm pogging out of my mind. Excellent. We could now research many more things. So, we started some research, and realized that our production lines were running like shit. It turned out, we had a lot of bottlenecks. Firstly, I noticed that our sulfur production was lacking petroleum. I checked our oil refineries, they were working. But then, they would stop working. I checked the oil train station, and there was no oil, which means no petroleum, which means no sulfur, which means no science. Not good. I checked our oil drilling, and it had been tapped almost completely dry. So, we needed more oil. Well, there was some oil down here a little bit past our big canal. This was an excellent opportunity for me to waterfill some more houses. So Ben and I, in our combined house flooding efforts, managed to then separate off a few islands with oil and iron. Problem was, these islands were still covered in biters, and we couldn't just waterfill them, because that would remove the resources. What we needed was a way to clear them out. Lucky for us, we had researched light artillery, and it was actually very effective. Once the oil island had been cleared, I built a train station and hooked up the oil to our network. This gave the science production enough of a boost to finish researching heavy artillery, which we would be needing for the much larger and more dangerous North Island. So, we built some artillery train wagons and gave it a go. We had worked hard today, and played Factorio for 13 hours. So naturally, we engaged in a little rocket launcher tomfoolery. Come on. Ben!
Yeah, I got him, Tristan, I got him. Don't worry.
I then showed Tristan our latest innovation, supersonic trains
I'll show you.
2.
I'll show you.
Which he used to suddenly and abruptly reverse directly into our artillery train.
Whoa.
Tristan, you fucking idiot! So, I ran him over. Just a few times.
Ah, fuck.
Once the tomfoolery session was over, Ben went and built us some Power Armor MK3, which we filled with leg. Day 5 began. Tristan joined the server, said fuck you, and left. Thanks, Tristan. Ben and I started the day off by flying our first little satellite into space. I built some rudimentary rocket part production, built up the rocket parts, chucked the satellite inside, and launched.
Train.
Hey!
Right, so,
The game.
That's not the finish of the game. I'll tell you that.
so we just finished the game. Nice!
No, we didn't.
Let's go!
We didn't. Tristan, we didn't finish the
Finally!
didn't finish the game. And there we go, boys. We'd done it. Our very first object sent into the great beyond. In celebration, we then used the satellite to reveal a huge area of the map and a brand new planet, Alaz. We took a quick look at the surface to discover it was very volcanic and generally not nice. The satellite had also revealed all the locations of the biters on our northern island, so Ben and I decided it was time for some expansion. We called in the artillery train and laid waste to our enemies.
I see you target. Are the orange ones your targets?
No, Tristan, the children are my targets. Next on the agenda was making big boy smelter arrays for our brand new, freshly claimed resources. While I was constructing them, Ben came by with a brand new invention, the thrust suit, which he had outfitted with a jetpack. Pretty cool. I then finished up the copper smelting array by adding the train stations. For these train stations, I'd come up with an interesting design. All it needed was about 60 balancer parts placed like this. Items would flow into the top and evenly distribute themselves into each chest. This design was compact, convenient, and quite fast. So of course, we used it wherever we could. Day 6 began as any good day should. A quick artillery barrage onto an enormous patch of biters. A few minutes later, we were reminded of our impending doom. The coronal mass ejection. It was gonna happen in 2 minutes. Uh-oh, we had no idea what to expect, other than those big lasers from the very start of the game would be back. We'd built an umbrella defense, which said it could deflect coronal mass ejections and energy beams with up to 500 gigawatts of attacking power. So we should be fine, right? The time came, the coronal mass ejection began, and the umbrella defense activated. Oh shit, look at it!
Shit. Oh, there we go.
Ooh. So far, all was going well. But then, I checked the power consumption. 700 megawatts, 800 megawatts, 900 megawatts, 1 gigawatt, 1.2, 1.3, 1.4. All the machines around us stopped. The factory came to a halt. And suddenly, it has the capacity. Holy shit! 19 giant death rays touched down on the factory. This was very bad. All the power was off, and the radio was going nuts with alerts. The damage seemed to be concentrated in one spot on the North Island. Where? Oh fuck, it's destroying our shit!
I'm running. I'm sprinting up there. I'm sprinting at a fucking high velocity.
Ben and I sprinted up to investigate, and found this. Dude, it's fucking just barbecuing our shit. This particular death ray had decided to barbecue a section of rail. But that was it. The other 18 rays had missed completely. Wait a minute. What's this? We'd gotten very lucky.
Look at the bot. It's fucking roasting the bot. It's alive. No, the boys have got it. The boys have got it.
And none of the beams had hit anything important. But what if one of them had hit the main base? I can confidently say it would not have been fun. So what actually happened? Well, the umbrella defense took so much power that it left none for anything else in the factory. This included the offshore pumps that brought water to the nuclear reactors. No water means no steam, and no steam means no electricity. So as soon as they shut down, the factory died. But we don't have 500. Holy shit! Not good. We'd gotten very lucky that the damage was so minimal. So to prepare for future CMEs, we forgot about it. Next, we launched another satellite and discovered a new planet called Nostos. This one even had biters on it. 6 minutes later, we launched another one and discovered Panna, a teeny-weeny planet covered in oil. Oil. We launched another satellite and discovered Akisrind, an RGB planet rich in vulcanite. And finally, we launched a satellite and discovered Prabhava, which had this very interesting structure poking out of the sand on its surface. Now, how would we actually get to these planets? So far, all we'd done was launch some satellites, which are easy to make and can't take you up into space. What we really needed was a cargo rocket. So we built a cargo rocket silo, and then forgot about it. Day 7 began with Ben demonstrating the power of filling your Power Armor MK4 with 100 leg. What you doing, Ben? While I'd been hard at work doing stuff, Ben had also been hard at work doing stuff. Particularly in the North Island, where he managed to link up every single resource to our beautiful train network. To celebrate this, Ben took out his high explosive rocket launcher and did this.
Run away, Mark. Run.
Wait. No! Our design philosophy had shifted heavily to favor trains. The miners would mine ore and place them into chests. Trains would come by and get filled by those chests. The train would take the ore to a smelter array. The smelter array would smelt the ores into plates and put them back on the train. That train would go to another facility and deliver the plates, which would be combined. For this system to work properly, we would need to build many separate facilities that produced everything we needed. I built a green circuit facility, a plastic facility, a red circuit facility, a brick smelter, a blue circuit facility, a copper smelter array, a module production facility. You get the idea. Lots of facilities, lots of trains. Oh my god. And lots of production. The factory was expanding faster than ever. So fast that... Oh, fuck. Our power had increased so much that we could almost run as fast as the supersonic trains. Okay, here it comes. You ready? Bye. Speaking of supersonic trains, we'd researched the final tier of speed. Supersonic trains? 3. Ben built one and put the most powerful fuel possible inside it.
Okay. Ready? Fucking
Now this was fast, but it was actually supposed to go faster. When going at full tilt, it could travel at 7,386.3 kilometers an hour. But really, it should have been going well over 50,000 kilometers an hour, or about 2 times escape velocity. My theory is that 7,386.3 kilometers an hour is the hard limit set by the game that nothing can exceed. which is unfortunate because I would have liked to go at twice escape velocity. Day 8 was kinda shit. Oh my god. At this point, I'd grown accustomed to building with belt balancers. Lots and lots of belt balancers. The game had been lagging a lot recently. I opened up the debug menu and checked show time usage to get a better idea of what was eating up all my computer's resources. Each update in Factorio can at maximum take 16.6 milliseconds to process before the game starts slowing down. Our update time was hovering a little over that. With this debug menu, we could see exactly what was taking up our precious milliseconds. Entities were taking around 2.5, the electricity network was taking around 1, and lots of other regular game processors took another combined 4 milliseconds. What was causing us problems was script update. This is where all the mods are. The factory buildings were costing us nearly 1 millisecond. Endgame combat was costing us half a millisecond. And finally, belt balances. They were costing us 8 milliseconds. Oh no. Every single thing in the factory, and all the biters combined, produced less lag than these little yellow boxes. So this left us with one option. Replace every single belt balancer with an actual balancer made of actual belts. Every train loader, every unloader, and many, many production facilities. In total, we had placed 2,882 balancer parts, and every single one of them needed to be removed. 5 hours later, we'd finished, and built a whole bunch of beautiful, belt-based belt balancers. Day 9 was preparation day. What were we preparing for? Space. A quick trip into orbit to see what's up, and then straight back down. First off, we needed to make the rocket and fuel it. I built this liquid rocket fuel production facility. This fucking light oil! Turned it on and hooked it up to the cargo rocket silo. Next was cargo rocket part production. This bastard of an item took what felt like 800 different resources to build. It took around 4 hours, and once it was done, we turned it on. Here comes the train. Holy shit. That's so cool. Day 10. Today was the day. After ironing out bugs in the system for another 2 hours, the rocket parts were finally on belts, heading over to the silo.
I think we might just have to manually make
Whoa.
that.
Meat.
A big boy.
Meat.
Jesus Christ, look at that.
That's a big boy. Ben gave me a thrust suit and a bunch of life support canisters to survive in the vacuum of space. We made a list of all the items we would need, loaded them into the silo, and built the rocket.
That's a big boy.
The rocket was built, the fuel was in, and all that remained was us. I'm gonna hit it. 3, 2, 1, go. Wait a minute. What the hell is it? Hello again. Welcome to From the Depths. A few weeks ago, I tried beating From the Depths' campaign on the highest difficulty. To beat it, all you have to do is kill the 8 factions on the map. A feat only 0.2% of players have ever done. Why? Well, some factions have shitty wooden rat boats, some factions have steel armored battleships, and some factions have giant orbital death rays. To beat this campaign, I would have to build an entire navy of somewhat functional vessels, fight the most powerful enemies in the game with them, and here's the hard part: win. So, let us begin. We began our great conquest on this here starter fortress, in the middle of the ocean, at the center of the map, surrounded by all 8 factions. In 1 hour, the council would convene, and the fentanyl bag would hit the ceiling fan. There was no time to waste, so I started building a nice proper starter vessel. Building a nice proper starter vessel didn't last very long, however, before I got distracted. By Opera GX! That's right, you tiny pathetic animal. This video is sponsored by Opera GX, definitely the web browser of all time. And guess what? Now it's even better. That's right, Opera GX has given me exclusive access to brand new features sure to blow you away. Introducing GX Facelift. Ooh yeah, look how good that browser looks. Yeah! New GX mods, enable light mode wallpaper, change your splash screen, the most awesome, change the UI icons, change the GX icon, and finally, change the entire UI font to Wingding. All of this will be available on November 20th. But that's not all, you can still download my mod. If you don't download my mod, I will hit this child with a stick. You don't want me to hit this child with a stick, do you? Oh, you do? Still not convinced? Well, how about the Quick Import tool? In the click of a button, all of your bookmarks, cookies, and Chrome extensions seamlessly integrate into Opera GX. Download Opera GX right now using the link in the description, or I will use my telepathic powers to taunt your testes. Or tubes. I don't discriminate. Thanks once again to Opera GX for sponsoring this video. Anyway. Building a nice proper starter vessel didn't last very long, however, before I got distracted.
An army of tiny piss laser boats.
This sent me down a bit of a rabbit hole. I put some lasers on our tiny little shitty starter boat, built 30 of them, named the fleet Jeremy.
Do you ever watches porn and gets naked? Yeah!
The council convened and chat told me to, quote, release the Jeremy, which I interpreted as abandon talks and declare all-out war. This is kind of the equivalent of visiting the United Nations, shitting your pants, getting into a fistfight with Xi Jinping, and throwing your shat pants at, I don't know, Obama or something. Needless to say, this pissed literally everyone off, and as you can probably imagine, Jeremy completely fucking folded at the first sign of resistance. Fuck. Poor guy ended with a professional record of 0 wins and 3 losses to the weakest enemies I was going to face in this entire game. Rest in peace, Jeremy. So I threw that fucking thing in the bin and started work on a real boat. I began by laying down a thick metal hull for everything to sit inside, and placed in our critical subsystems. Propellers for propulsion, an engine for engineering, a cock box to sit inside, and 2 guns and some missiles for killing things dead. Isn't she beautiful? The most powerful boat on the 7 Wait. Oh, fuck. It's sinking. Damn. How do I make it float? Buoyancy. Now, can anyone tell me about Archimedes' principle? No? Of course you can't. I'm in a screen, you fucking idiot. Archimedes' principle states that the buoyant force is equal to the weight of displaced fluid. Water weighs 1,000 kilos per cubic meter, so any object displacing 1 cubic meter of water gets 1,000 kilos of buoyant force. A cubic meter of wood weighs about 500 kilos, so it floats, while a cubic meter of steel is 8,000 kilos, so it sinks. But a boat isn't a solid block of steel. By volume, a boat is mostly air, which makes its average density lower than water, and thus, flotation. Anyway, with that said, I added an air pump to the boat which pumps out all the water, and now, she floats. Gentlemen, I present to you our new vessel. It can float, shoot gun, shoot missile, and best of all, it can take 1, maybe 2 hits before its ammo cooks off and violently explodes. An incredible vessel. Naturally, I built 2 more, expending all of my materials, and sent them into battle. Prepare for battle. Our opponent for today was this cool yacht thing. Begin. Go! Kill! Oh my fucking god! Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh shit, he's coming straight towards me. Oh shit. No, 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 no! Ah! Boosh. Fuck off, man! Okay, missiles, go. None of them are going for the right target. Okay. Oh, fuck, he's coming towards me. Wait, no, I didn't jump! Quick, 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 get on! Yes! Hold on, I might be able to sneak my way in. I'm in! Oh, there it is, there it is. Yes, it! Yeah, boy! Now, this might look like a common Timon Kauper W to you, but, they all got... Ah! Yeah. Obliterated. All of my boats might have been obliterated, but I now had a new one. That cool super yacht thing that I took over. The Eclipse. Naturally, I took our newly acquired cool yacht thing and sent it directly at the enemy. It, didn't go very well. Holy shit, there's so much going on! That's my guy. That's my friend. Oh no! What's going on? Another nuke has gone off. Alright, how's the Eclipse gonna do? Oh no! Oh no. They're all ganging up on me. Ah, another nuke! I'm getting pulled away. Holy shit, it's pulling me out of the water. Oh my god, what the fuck? What the fuck? god. Help! Help! Abduction. Well, fuck. That was pretty much all my materials. Shit. So, I sat there, watching the enemy slowly close in on all sides, and before I knew it, our final stand. Go home, sweet home, defend yourself! Oh my god. Okay, okay. Absolutely evaporated. Well, that was a quick fight. And with that, we had lost. I think declaring war on everyone was a bad idea. Controversial take. And with that, we began attempt number 2. Alright, first things first, this boat might be the worst vessel ever created. Get it out of my sight right fucking now! Now, our last attempt at building a boat sucked. A lot. So this time, I was going to do things differently. To start with, I found the prefab hulls and in 2 clicks created the bow and stern of our glorious new vessel. Several minutes of construction later, and we had created version 1 of our next battleship. Pissman 2. Whatever happened to Pissman 1, we do not know. Pissman 2's primary armament was this. A big, fat, yellow laser. The Piss Laser. Now, it might not look finished, and that's because it's not, but before I had time to finish it, the council convened. This time, I did not declare war against literally everyone, but against these 3 easy factions. Gentlemen, it was time to see what Pissman 2 was really made of. Begin! Oh my god, hi there. Hit him with a laser! Hit him with it! Oh my god. Am I sinking? I'm sinking. Oh my god, I think we're actually gonna win a fight against something that can't even move. I'm literally the best. Oh, there we go. Glorious victory! Yes! 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 With that victory, I kept going. It's time! Begin the battle! Kill! Oh. Holy shit. Well, that was easy. Alright, let's go. Kill! Kill! Full throttle! Go, 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 go! Oh my god, this laser is so powerful. Yes! 1 wing down! Yes! Yes! He's going down! The piss laser is victorious again. Okay, go. He's going right towards me. He's going really fast. That's scary. I don't like this. I don't like this at all. No. Oh my god! Holy shit, he's pushing me so fast. Ah! Ah! Help! Help! Oh my god, he just cut my boat in half. Did I kill him? Did I kill him? Health below 80% and sinking. Sit the fuck down!
How are you? I am under the water.
We had narrowly escaped Pissman 2 getting chopped completely in half. But we'd won. Naturally, I sent it out again to fight this horrible thing. The same horrible thing that had ended the first run. It's time to kill! No, he's coming at me. Kill! 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 Oh god, what is that? No, he's pulling me upwards. No, I don't like this. I don't like this one bit. Help! Help! No. I don't like this at all. This is bad. This is really bad. Unhand me at once, you foul creature. Oh my god, no! No! Pissman 2! No! Oh my god, down we go. I'm killing you, you fuck. Oh wait, it's dying. It's dying. No way. Die faster. Die faster. Quick, die faster. Yes! Shit. Pissman 2 emerges victorious. I wouldn't be so sure about that. Now, before you mourn the passing of Pissman 2, it's not dead. Sure, this particular Pissman 2, very much dead. But we still had its blueprint, and with its blueprint, we could rebuild. And once we did rebuild, it was time for some upgrades. Okay, problem number 1, Pissman 2 is currently one continuous volume. This means if a hole is poked in the hull over here, the entire volume immediately floods and the boat sinks. We can mitigate this by adding bulkheads, essentially just sectioning off parts of the boat so a hole in one part only floods a small compartment. Next, I beefed up the armor on the side of the boat and added some missiles. I then took it to fight another enemy and fucking died. No, 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 no! Ah! This fight taught me another valuable lesson. Don't put the chair and fire control computer out in the open. Like an idiot. You fucking dumbass. Fucking stupid fuck. With that problem solved, I added some more guns, and before I knew it, it was time for Pissman 2 to vaporize more merchant vessels. So that is exactly
Let's go.
what I did. What's another one of these things? Oh! Oh! With several glorious victories for the Pissman fleet, we had collected quite a bit of new territory. Of course, I wanted to keep the pressure up and continue fighting hard, but as time goes on, the enemy factions build larger and larger ships. Soon, the Pissman fleet would be outclassed. It was for this reason that I decided to expand the fleet and build yet another vessel. So, I got to work. The first thing I did was lay down the foundations by building a big alloy tube. Then, an explosion of divine brilliance shone upon me from the heavens. Oh my god. It's incredible. It's average size. Even better, I was going to make this bad boy fly. So I placed in a bunch of thrusters, in the ballsack of course, and took to the skies. Oh, and it hovers! And guess what? It was flopping all over the fucking place. Uh-huh. 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 I see. This craft needs PIDs. Okay, enough of the floppy penis vehicle. Let me introduce you to a new vehicle. It has one issue. It won't stop flopping around. It flies using these thrusters, and these thrusters are controlled by this controller. Right now, it's trying to hover at 20 meters. This is the craft's set point, where it's trying to be. You can think of it as the goal, and currently the goal is to hover at exactly 20 meters. Obviously, it's struggling. Right now, if it's below the set point, it applies thrust up, if it's above, it applies thrust down, and if it's at the set point, it applies no thrust whatsoever. This is dumb. Stupid craft. Fucking idiot craft. Okay, PID time. The P in PID is proportional, which is what I've just explained. Add thrust in proportion to our distance from the set point. The further we are from where we want to be, the more thrust we add. Very simple, but it constantly overshoots the set point. The D in PID is derivative. Strap those thinking hats on, it's about to get complicated. Notice how this craft wobbles up and down in a beautiful sine wave. It's very predictable. So what if we predicted it? That is the job of the derivative. It predicts where the craft is going to be in the future. Why is this useful? Well, think about what's happening when the craft is at its lowest point. It's currently telling the bottom thruster to push it back up. That's good. But now at halfway to the set point, the thruster is still being told to push, even though the craft now has enough momentum to reach the set point. So inevitably, it overshoots, and the cycle repeats. What if we could just pretend the craft was a fraction of a second in the future? Then it would cut the power before overshooting. So if I make the PID look into the future by 0.2 seconds, we can see the oscillations slowly settle. Bam! Rock solid. But we have a new problem. Our craft is trying to hover at 20 meters, but it's stuck at 16.88. Why won't it go higher? Well, think about it. Just to hover, this craft needs about 40% thrust. If we were to get any closer to the set point, the controller would lower the thrust, and we'd fall back down again. This is where the I in PID comes in. Integral. Teaching you about integrals is a bit beyond the scope of this video, but basically it sees we're not quite there yet and adds a little bit of thrust until it's at the target altitude. And voila! Our craft used to look like this, now it looks like this. Anyway, Using this knowledge, we had completed our next unholy abomination. The Peanuts. Featuring hundreds of small missiles, lots and lots of medium missiles, some bright yellow lasers coming out of the tip, these 4 guns, and one very large missile right at the front. I am 4 years old. Understandably, I built 2. Wow. With our fleet bolstered with the incredible power of flying penis craft, it was time to take yet more territory. This time I had my eyes set on our western front. And before I knew it, the enemy was on the horizon. Gentlemen, it was time for violence. Kill! Kill! Huge explosions. Oh my god. What is that thing? Ooh, big hit. Holy shit. Wow, there's a lot of missiles. Full power, full penis. Oh, oh, uh-oh, ah, kill! Oh, okay, holy shit. Oh no, my ballsack. Everything was going fantastically. Everything except for our dwindling supplies. You see, missiles are some of the most expensive weapons in the game, and these crafts have a lot of missiles. We'd managed to keep them supplied for now by doing a cheeky bit of piracy, but it was still a problem. The fleet's second problem was that it was so deep in enemy territory that we couldn't repair. This small oversight, however, proved costly. Alright, go. Our next fight was against this thing. My vessel spawned in, and the Pissman 2 immediately did its signature move. Why am I half underwater? Sink. Dude, come on. Are you serious? Fuck it, we're going penis mode. That thing's blowing up my peanuts. No, peanuts, please. Pissman 2 is at the bottom of the ocean. Oh no! 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 What if I take the guy that's at the bottom of the ocean right now? Okay, it's finally destroyed. Oh my god. With that fight, we had lost 2 Peanuts craft, combined worth 1 million materials to 1 small missile craft worth about 400k. Naturally, I changed absolutely nothing about the design and built 2 more, instantly wiping our entire stockpile of materials. Even though we had taken a massive fucking L on the western front, I could smell victory. The Onyx Throne Fortress was exposed, and if I managed to destroy that fortress, then that would wipe out the entire faction. So, I made a run for it. That's the enemy's main throne. Why don't we go for that? Let's go. Escalade. Begin! Holy shit. Keep going. Keep going. Alright, keep the momentum up. Let's go. Begin! There it is. Oh, the missiles are already making their way in. Ooh. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Ballsack explosion. It is raining missiles. Oh! Sit! No! And just like that, we had vanquished our first faction. The Onyx Watch was no more. And, on cue, the Council. Okay. This council gave me several options. Naturally, I clicked the option with the biggest reward and didn't think about it past there. I can make a lot of penises. I was confident, especially after learning how easy it can be to destroy an entire faction. All I needed to do was locate the enemy fortress, blow it up, and that faction would cease to exist. Turns out, my plan had one small flaw. The faction I had already done this to, the Onyx Watch, sniffs glue. The guys I just declared war on don't sniff glue. Fuck! Shortly after making my declarations of war, new enemies appeared on the horizon. a small squadron of fighter aircraft. Now, if we consult our handy chart, these guys were pretty high on the fucking around axis. And as you can see, the more you fuck around, the more you're gonna find out. Kill that thing! These things. A lot of little guys. I'm in the air.
Overlord, this is Viper 1. We have eyes on target. What the fuck?
Oh! Oh, dead. The Piss fleet was holding strong, but the next enemy would be a true test. The Gravitas. Worth over 1.2 million materials, it can fly, and it has giant, terrifying guns. This was the single strongest enemy we had faced thus far. Begin. Oh, big hit. Man, those guns look insane. What do you reckon I can cut them off? Surely I can cut it off. Come on, big laser. This is what you're made for. Yes! Sit! Yes! Sit! Come on, zap through. Zap through. Go, laser. Yes! Two-thirds of our Pissman fleet had done their incredible maneuver. Sink. But we had emerged victorious. Yes! 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 This inspired even more confidence, and on the map I could see the Steel Strider's fortress. If I could destroy that fortress, once again the entire faction would be eliminated. And before long, the fleet was at its doorstep. This was it. Battle station! The battle has begun! It's glorious! Look at that! Kill it! Oh my god, the lasers are insane! Wait, what happened to the other boats are dead? Gotta find the AI in these things. Where's your brain? Is that the AI? Wait, there's multiple. Ah, fuck. Turns out there was another base up north. So I sent the fleet up north to the other base and blew that fucker to smithereens. And they still weren't dead. Even worse, this base was deep in enemy territory. The fleet was overextended, and a powerful enemy force was bearing down on us. Well, fuck. I think it's time for a fucking enormous battle. Holy shit. Holy shit. Uh-oh. That's a lot of missiles. That's a lot of missiles. Kill! Come on, boys. Come on, boys. Wow, this thing's not taking any damage. Oh, he's taking big damage. No, they're all sinking! Oh no. They're all sinking. It's all over. Oh no! There goes another one. Pissman 2. The fleet has gone limp. How about the other ones? The other ones are not faring any better. It's fucking Jova. No, it's all crumbling. Ah! No. This was a hard lesson in resource management. Sure, you can spend a bunch of resources building something big and stupid, but it's gonna be expensive, and big and stupid. We'd only won our battles because of huge numerical superiority, spamming the shit out of missiles which cost a fuck ton, and our enemies being really shit. These enemies were not shit, and despite our crafts costing substantially more, they were outmatched. To make matters even worse, because our crafts were insanely expensive, I couldn't build any more of them. Gentlemen, it was all over. For the second time, I watched, helpless, as the enemies closed in, and destroyed my starter base. Oh, it's on fire! Ah! Oh, fuck. My beautiful home. My boat, sweet boat. No! Rest in peace. It's fighting valiantly. It's trying its damn best. And it's dead. Once again, we'd lost. Is that it? That's it. With your dash dream now turned into a living nightmare, you row away in a leaking boat that smells of fish and old socks as you venture for land with your head hung low. History books will only mention the penis fleet in passing, an inconsequential footnote in the great history of Nita. Well, not if I have anything to say about it. Gentlemen, it was time to do this right. It was time to learn everything there is to learn about shipbuilding. Advanced weapons, shell configurations, armor optimization, cannon designs, missile payloads, damage management, whatever the fuck this shit is. It was time to build a navy more powerful than anyone on this planet could possibly imagine. Gentlemen, it was time to win. Next time.